The NFL draft is 20 days away. My guess is that the big board is probably going to fill the day before. So you have 18 or 19 days left to get all of your teams in before the true chaos starts. We're joined by Pat Kerrane. Let's ship the big board.
It's Short King summer, dude. It just feels like no one in fantasy sports ever learns anything. Does he mistime it, or is Brock Bowers just a grown man? Brock Bowers is just a grown man. Dare I say, Rich, football might be back. In the words of Lane Johnson, this offense looks constipated. It's Short King summer.
All right. Good morning. Good morning, Mr. Kerrane. How are we doing? How many big boards have you gotten over there at Legendary Upside Industries?
I'm still like halfway through. Like I need to draft like an absolute maniac over the next few days. But I also have like articles that I want to write and that I need to write, like my rookie profiles. I'm doing okay on those. I've got one more running back to go, and then my wide receivers. I'll probably end up doing a quarterback sleepers one at the very end. But yeah, I need to like just crank out some drafts because I'm also trying to get as many over on DraftKings as I can too. But I'm even further behind there.
Yeah, I just decided no DraftKings, don't have time, not doing it, don't care. Payout structures, not what I want anyway, and I'm going to be spending plenty of time in those trenches soon enough because that's the thing.
Yeah,
is right now
non-derogatory. That's fair.
The drafting is very casual. It's like, if I don't max, like whatever. It doesn't matter.
Right.
That for people of a certain disposition, if you're watching a best board draft on April 4th, this is probably you. Things are about to get very gnarly in probably about 45 days. The first time that they launch a puppy and a chihuahua at the same time, you're just going to be like, well, I'm never not drafting, like, or thinking about my teams, right?
Right.
It's just the way it goes. You're going to be, you're just going to like right now, the changes we're making in rankings, very small changes that we're making. We're just like, I'm a little low on Skattebo. I'm gonna move Diggs up a little bit. I'm gonna be done taking Kayshon Boutte. But like in 45 days, it's gonna be like, this guy got arrested. Alexander Madison, this guy got hurt. This coach said we're going to do this with this wide receiver rotation. That was something that we were not expecting. Brandon Ayuk is going to have worn the wrong shorts to organize team activities, and he's going to be down on the third team, So the
Brandon Ayuk's rehab is, there's no way Shanahan's going to approve of that. He's not going to nail it to Shanahan's liking. There's no way.
Yes. Yeah. That is actually under discussed. We've in the Davis Mattek Discord this morning, we've been arguing about Brandon Ayuk for going on 3 hours now.
Really?
And no one had made that point yet. No one had made the point that Brandon Ayuk, the way he goes about rehabilitating his injury is not going to be done to the satisfaction of Kyle Shanahan. He's
just no way.
Yes. Who's the first running back that we're going to get utilized in the slot?
RJ Harvey.
It's definitely yeah. That'll be the first rookie, and then it'll be Jaylen Warren when they take
Jaylen Warren Martinez. For sure. But we know not to fall for that one because they don't pass, right? So you don't have to buy that one. Yeah. Who else?
Rico Dowdle.
Oh, that would be a really funny one. That'd be a really funny one because that just like will not happen.
Just will not happen.
I think we'll get some more of the rookies. I think LaQuint Allen, Trevor Etienne, who I don't even think is that good of a pass catcher, but Marcus Yarns.
Well, Travis Etienne, his older brother. We'll get that. Yeah, we'll definitely get that. We'll definitely get Bucky and Rashad. Oh, Bucky and Rashad are going to be on the field at the same time. Our goal is just to get. We want good football players.
Get the best players on the field.
You got to get the best players on the field. If for somehow the 9th year in a row, it'll be Tony Pollard, and we'll be like, we just kind of know who Tony Pollard is. He's a good player, but He's not a slot wide receiver.
My favorite one will be like if the Colts take LaQuint Allen in the 6th round, and then we have to hear about how he's going to get a bunch of work out of the slot. It's like, oh, from who? Who's going to be throwing him accurate short passes?
Man, that was something that did open my eyes a little bit. We did get some interesting quotes about, the expected workload distribution between Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones. Frankly, not if you are an Anthony Richardson bull, not particularly bullish the way it sounded. I thought the Anthony Richardson.
You got to get the sidekick.
Oh yeah, I got to refresh. Yeah. I thought the Anthony Richardson thing would be, he's our starter. We brought in Daniel Jones.
Yeah, man.
I did not think it was going to be, all right, we're splitting reps from, this is at the owners meeting, dude. It's April. And they're saying it's not great.
I think so. If you think about like the larger context that we know about Anthony Richardson and like what they're really kind of the situation that they're dealing with is that they have a guy that they basically don't trust to like be the guy. And so I think from that perspective, it actually does make sense to be like, we're serious about this. It's like a kid. It's like a teenager, right? Where like the parents are like, we'll take away the car, man. You're not gonna go to that concert. Like, it's kind of like that where there's really no point to being, if you're going to bring in Daniel Jones, there's no point to like being like, oh yeah, we expect Anthony to take the job, but it's Jones is a great veteran, blah, blah, blah. They're like trying to put the pressure on so that he brings what they're hoping he can bring. But I mean, they've lost their minds if they think heading into week 1 with Daniel Jones as the starter is like a good idea.
I'm going to take Justin Jefferson here.
Yeah, I'm down.
At 4. We got a rogue CD over Barkley.
Wow.
You better hope the tush push doesn't get banned, brother. From we're doing our rankings a month from now, Best Ball Mania is going to open. Are we thinking, would you have Bears Jeanty ranked higher or Raiders Jeanty ranked higher?
Bears.
So I'm thinking about that, and I'm like, well, where would be the place that I could just project him to get the Ezekiel Elliott rookie year workload? And it's definitely the Raiders, right? Zeke as a rookie, 322 rushes, 32 receptions, 2,000 scrimmage yards, 16 touchdowns for Zeke as a rookie. It's definitely most likely. Now, I'm not efficiency stuff. Although Geno, Bowers, Jacoby Myers, I mean, it's like kind of a cromulent offense, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I think we should be higher on the Raiders in general, frankly. But I'm not really
about that, but
well, it's mostly Brock Bowers' case.
Yeah.
Who I think is a smash.
Right.
But yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I think from a workload perspective, you're more likely to get that from the Raiders. But if you think about like, so if he goes to the Raiders or goes to the Bears, we're paying for it. Like meaning his price will rise. He'll be expensive.
Even if they don't cut or trade DeAndre Swift, do you feel that is true?
Yeah. Yeah. Just because like Ben Johnson, man, it's Ben Johnson. He's Jahmyr Gibbs. I think it was Jacob Sanderson who put it like, Jeanty is a literal combination of David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah, he's as big and strong as David Montgomery while being as fast and dynamic. Yeah. Now, this is a pretty good question. Well, he's not going to be a Jaguar. I don't think the Jaguars would do it. But what if the Patriots take Jeanty? How do we feel about that?
Yeah, I suppose it's possible he's a Jaguar. I really, really do not think the Patriots will take Jeanty. I would be like floored. I truly would be floored. I mean, they don't have any tackles. People are talking like they have a right tackle because they signed Morgan Moses, but like,
they're taking a tackle. I think
they're taking a tackle or one of the two blue chip guys ahead of at premium positions, Hunter or
Another thing that I have not heard anyone, I really like, we're 3 weeks away from the draft. We've heard like every take possible on the draft. I've not heard team trades up for Jeanty the way the Lions traded up for Gibbs as a. Who's thrown that out there? I mean, maybe some people talked about it with the Broncos. Got to take. Oh shit, AJ Brown went. What do you think here with Jefferson?
I like Ladd.
Ladd, it is. But like, I don't know, man. Denver, the Chargers, trying to think about a team that would realistically do it.
I just don't think you need
probably
to.
Denver.
Okay, so if you're thinking about trading up for Jeanty, he's made it past the Raiders at 6. So if you're the Broncos, you're like, well, our chances of
Gibbs was a trade down, by the way. I misstated that.
But yeah, I mean, he still went before where the Broncos are picking. But
correct.
If you're the Broncos and Jeanty makes it past 6, you're like, well, now there's a better chance we get Hampton. So how close are those guys on their board? And
I think this, frankly, is the draft industrial complex being out of control. Amarian Hampton he's a good player. I expect him to be a good fantasy asset. I like taking him in the big board. He's not even in the same stratosphere of prospect and player as Jeanty.
I agree. I mean,
watch them play, dude.
Yeah. Truth serum. Don't take Amarian Hampton in the first round, NFL.
Yeah, true.
It's too expensive. I want you to.
All right, we got Jefferson, Ladd. I'm fine with anyone. I mean, I'd pull up a wide receiver here.
I'd pull up Harrison if you want. I'd pull up. Honestly, I'd probably go Jacobs, but I'm willing to pull up a receiver. Let's
pull up Harrison because there is a chance that the aforementioned Hampton is there for us at 45. Which is better. Yes, this is what I'm thinking of. JMO was a trade up. But if this is my memory, was that Gibbs was a trade down and then back up, right?
I don't remember because they also took that linebacker, I think, in that draft.
Correct. And everyone mocked them for taking a running back and an off-ball linebacker.
Yeah.
I don't believe Ashton Jeanty had a single fumble his final season at Boise State. I'm fact checking myself. Yeah. Zero. Actually, just zero fumbles in general.
By the way, you're on the side of history of CEH there. This was the case against Jonathan Taylor, was that he was a fumbler. These college fumble numbers, I don't think you want to get too carried away with.
Well, you better not, because Tootin is a fumbler.
Right. Tootin, I would say it's more of an issue because
he came from Sacramento State, or no, North Carolina A&T,
and then Virginia Tech. Yeah. And he's not, even after crushing the combine, he might go day 3. If you fumble as a day 3 pick, that matters a lot more than if you fumble as a second-round pick, right? How many opportunities are you going to get? Jeanty's not going to get benched because he fumbles.
No, he's not.
I guess you'd say like it's really for the NFL team, it's not worth it if he fumbles, but I think he brings so much more to the table as a playmaker than Hampton that, yeah, give me like 1.5x the fumble rate all day.
Yeah,
which I don't
keep
think
saying
will
this.
Even happen.
Every time I've mentioned Bayshell Tootin's original college, I say North Carolina AT&T for no reason. A&T just sounds because it's A&M that my brain is used to saying. What is A&T? Agriculture and technology? Agriculture and
I guess so.
All right, let's Google it. North Carolina A&T. Yeah, technical. Not technology.
So it's agriculture and technical?
Yeah. Technical
or
school.
Agricultural?
It's technical, like you learn a trade, I think.
Oh, I see.
I would guess. And then he went to another technical school, Virginia Tech. You don't hear
He's a technical guy
the way you used to.
He had no fumbles at North Carolina A&T, by the way.
Yeah.
0.
Which if you were all right, so
Hampton.
We did it fell exactly how it fell. Cook, Hampton, Hurts. I think Hampton.
I'm Hampton. Cook's got his house on the market in Buffalo. I was gonna say
vibes based there. Also, it's just like Liam has assured me that James Cook is going to score 20 touchdowns again this year. But I mean, taking a running back in the 4th round who plays 47% of the team's snaps, I don't know, man. A lot of ways that can go bad.
Taking a running back who just led the NFL in touchdowns and like wasn't
it's
a
like
league
always
winner,
the worst idea. Yeah.
that's like okay, let's pay the same price we did before. Like what?
Yeah.
What? No.
Yeah.
This dude, it just kind of proved he can't win leagues. Like I mean, from best ball, he can be pretty valuable if he does that again, obviously, and he could have some things bounce his way where all of a sudden he is now a league winner. But I just don't expect him to repeat that performance at all. And
No,
I guess the
no.
Bills don't either, because they don't seem to be looking to extend him the way he wants.
Addison, Hubbard, Walker. I was kind of hoping that Hurts would fall to us. What do you think here?
I don't mind Addison for the double.
Yeah. And when you take Addison, less likely you get snapped off on McCarthy.
Right.
Who I am trying to take. I'm like, I've totally bought into this lore on McCarthy that like he's actually great. The Vikings actually love him. He would have been awesome last year. He's been training on the same VR headset that Jaden Daniels has been training on, that apparently made Jaden Daniels so great. So it's like he actually didn't lose all this development time last year that you would think that he would have lost. I mean, I have no idea if it's true or not, but I am choosing to believe it.
I like it. It's a fun narrative. I mean, I think what Darnold showed last year is that you can just be, as long as you're not bad, you can be good in this offense. It's just such a great setup.
Are you buying on Hawkinson and Jordan Mason as well?
Yeah, I am. I don't. Did you see that Kevin O'Connell quote?
No.
Coach Speak Index had it. Mason's their goal line back. It was like it just. I watched the whole quote, and it's one of those things where like, sometimes guys just like they're asked like, is Jordan Mason your goal line back? And they're like, yeah, I think he's good.
Sure. Yeah.
But they were like, basically, what's the deal with Jordan Mason? And he was like, we were really impressed with Aaron Jones last year. Happy to bring him back, but we want to utilize him in the ways that make the most sense for his skill set, and so we can get the most out of him. And basically, he didn't say like so that he lasts because he's old, but that was kind of the vibe. And we want to bring in someone who complemented that and would really help us around the goal line in a short yardage where we felt like we needed a bit of a boost. And then he kind of like went on to talk about Mason. Then he like circled back to like, and I just think his ability to help us out in the short area of the goal line. He's a goal line back. So, I mean, I don't think he's like an absolute smash, but he's quite helpful for the rooms that I build. I tend to have a lot of rookies. So I'm like, okay, like this dude's going to have a role right away. And he's on a really good offense and could score touchdowns throughout the season. So I do think he's still a target.
And Aaron Jones is 29 and like struggles with quad injuries I believe he's had like 4 or 5 quad injuries and hamstrings. Hamstrings
too,
was the Packers stuff. It was quad last year. I mean, it does
what he's done already
is bet.
Yeah. The fact that he still matters is like super impressive. But like how much longer is that gonna be the case?
I'll be staying fairly woke to whoever the Vikings sign as an undrafted free agent running back, though.
Yeah, or even if they draft someone day 3, which I think they're allowed to do.
I don't even think they have day 3 picks. Actually, I think they only have the Vikings 2025 draft picks.
I think they're missing a second rounder.
The Vikings have 1 round 5 and 1 round 6. All right, we're up. I think this is Burden or Caleb Johnson.
Who else do we have?
Connor,
I think those guys are both
Golden, Buka.
Yeah.
We could take Joe Burrow and tilt the shit out of either of the guys behind us. Or Montgomery.
No. Yeah, I'm fine with these guys. Burden probably makes sense on this team. He's like a swing for the fences.
we'll do Burt because all these running backs are basically the same, so we'll take whichever one comes around. Yeah, we could have taken Joe Burrow, and we had both the T Higgins and the Jamar Chase guy behind us, so they would have had a bad time. A guy yesterday got one of my drafts canceled. I was doing my 120th. A guy took Lamar at the 2-3 turn, and then Flowers went right here at pick 47, and he ruined the draft. He then started taking remember that, guys? He started taking he took AJ Barner and just tilted and nuked his account. Yeah, I did. I got the email after the stream was done yesterday that it was canceled. Yeah. Now we can take whatever dusty old running back we want.
I'd be open to Connor here, given that we already have Hampton.
Yeah, I like that. I've got very little of Connor, relatively speaking, to them compared to these rookies, and he does. Yes, he did. He did also, by the way, take Marcus Yarns.
Good for him.
Which made me tilt, because I was like, he would only have taken Marcus Yarns if he is watching. There's no scenario where he would not have taken Marcus Yarns unless he is familiar with the program. I did get to take Patrick Laird, though. I took Patrick Laird in the 20th round because
you knew it was getting canceled.
I knew it was going to get canceled. I mean, I thought you never know exactly, like, if there's just one team that's drafting really weird, like those Super Bowl drafts that were happening. Remember trying to draft before the Super Bowl whenever it was just taking, like, DeAndre? I was like, so those are definitely getting canceled.
I'm always afraid, though. Like, I'm like, what if it doesn't?
What if it doesn't?
I'm just gonna punt off this entry. Like, I'm gonna draft. I find it very frustrating because I should probably just be like, whatever. I'm just gonna vibe, or frankly, I'm just gonna turn on autopilot and walk away.
Yeah,
but I don't tend to do that.
All right, we have got Amari Hampton, James Conner, Justin Jefferson, Ladd, Marvin Harrison, Jordan Addison, Luther Burden. So we've got all our quarterbacks live, which is nice. We have 2 Cardinals. We have 2 Vikings. Kyler might be available for us at pick 93. Kerrane is high on Yarns, I think, because he's like the second best receiving back in the class, basically.
It is also because he's from Delaware, though. Like, right. And I don't think Yarns is really that draftable. I mix him in sometimes in the 20th, but it's more like for fun. If he gets drafted in the 5th round or something, I will be in. But I do worry in this deep draft class that, he's just like a UDFA or something.
A sentence that we are definitely going to say about Marcus Yarns is, dude, he's a core 4 special teamer. He's going to be active on game day.
Yeah.
I mean, we're definitely, Marcus Yarns is going to be the first guy that we're going to say he's active on game day for special teams.
There's a few guys like that.
Prediction.
I think Brashard Smith
yes,
is a special teamer.
Great kick returner. Another very good kick returner, Bayshell Tootin. 2 kick return touchdowns. 2 kick return touchdowns on 19 returns at Virginia Tech. I mean, that is really good.
Smith has 49 career kick returns. 24.4 yards per return. For that big of a sample is pretty good.
Pretty good. I assume the answer to this question about Kalel Mullings is no.
No, he didn't run.
I was taking him a little bit.
I liked him a lot early on, but he didn't run. And I think he needed to show he's sub 4.7, I think. The fact that he didn't run at his pro day, I think, is telling.
I mean, does athleticism matter for linebackers?
Yeah. I mean, he's a 2-down prospect as well, so you need opportunity. I think he ended up probably going undrafted or 7th round or something. I'll leave the light on for him. Like if Mullings kind of starts making noise in camp, or this time next year Mullings is like looking, maybe not this time, but like next summer looks like he's a backup, I'll gladly bet on him. But
did he run at the pro day?
I believe he did not run.
Kalel Mullings pro day. I can find this information.
I think AI has a 40 for him, but there's no human has ever written a 40 time down for this man.
All right, I think we just take Kyler here.
Yeah, Kyler makes a ton of sense.
All right, Kyler, add him to the fake double. I don't mind actually sack him. I've got no reported 40 time. Google AI does make one up for him.
Yeah.
But
Google AI will make up things.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's on. Why maybe it shouldn't be on by default when it's making up 40 times, but
yeah.
what do I know?
I think the Chiefs are pretty unlikely to draft a wide receiver. They've got a fairly packed room. So they have the two guys who are good. They have Rashi and Worthy. Then they have their old guys. You want to take, oh shit, I was going to say Andrews here. This is a shitty pick. This is Warren, Kelsey, or Njoku to me.
I'd also be fine with Herbert, man.
I want McCarthy more than I want Herbert.
Let's do Warren then. You don't take 3? I would still take McCarthy, but
oh no, we can still take 3, but we also only have 2 running backs, and that'll be a range where we are are looking at a running back.
It's also possible we get
they will draft a wide receiver with character concerns. Yeah, so I guess that means Isaiah Bond should be apartment shopping in Kansas City.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is actually I would say the first year of best ball existing that the Chiefs have not gone into the draft like big time needing a wide receiver. Worthy, Hollywood, Rashi, Juju with like a rotation of Justin Ross, Remigio, Taekwon, Sky Moore, like whichever one you want to activate as your 5th guy. Perfectly cromulent.
Yep. Yeah, I mean they're fine. They're fine. They're covered. They could take somebody. Teams take players all the time in the draft where you're like, I thought we all agreed you guys are good. You didn't need to do this, you know. You made our life a lot more difficult.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if they took a guy in the
if they took a Bond or something because they were like, oh, we just have this guy really high on our board and we value those traits. They also love Big 12 guys. Sure.
Could you
definitely
see them taking
possible.
like? Because I think if you think about like what they need, from my perspective, like, could you see them taking like a Trey Harris or
they need a Justin Watson replacement?
Yeah, Alec Iomanor in the 3rd round, like that would be pretty interesting.
Oh, Io Manor would be a good fit. Hey, Naylor was I think he scored 6 touchdowns as a last round pick. Naylor kind of was a good pick. The Vikings, maybe with their round 3 pick, seem fairly live to take a wide receiver because the McVay version of the West Coast offense is big on 11 personnel and less on 12 personnel. And they basically turned TJ Hawkinson into the 3rd wide receiver last year. But I think they would prefer to take Josh Oliver off the field and replace him with a wide receiver. My guess would be KOC's preference.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I think they should probably shore up the interior of the line, right? Isn't that kind of the?
I mean, you know, who knows? But I think they probably would like a good reasonable. I definitely disagree with this. I think Naylor is a terrible pick this year. The basis of picking Naylor last year was that TJ Hawkinson maybe would not be ready.
Yeah.
That he just wouldn't play all year. I mean, Naylor was playing under 50% of the snaps in the back half of the season because they were just playing Oliver.
If you're drafting like bad players, they better be locked into a role.
Yeah. Yep. Like Tutu Atwell. You want to take a bad West Coast
Tutu Atwell is kind of good. He's kind of good.
Well, if Tutu Atwell weighed if Tutu Atwell was Xavier Worthy's weight, who knows? You know,
if Tutu Atwell was like, if there was like a league mandate that he play 100% of snaps for the Rams, he'd be like the wide receiver 35 in fantasy.
He would smash. Yeah.
He wouldn't be like unstoppable. Let's take Herbert at this point.
Let's take Herbert here. Yeah, I agree.
It's smart to wait, but
yeah.
really falls off here. The last year's second round being the total dead zone is this year's 10th, 11th round. I like 0 picks in the 10th and 11th round, basically.
Yeah.
They're
See,
all
Jordan
bad.
Mason there, that was aside, like that makes sense to me that he goes there now.
It does feel crazy, but it makes sense to me. I'll say this.
That's exactly where we have him, 119 in the ranks.
A rookie wide receiver that is going to make an impact this year, who no one's taking, no one's talking about, is Tory Horton.
Dude, I literally, this is not great for my brain, but I woke up this morning thinking I need to raise Tory Horton in the ranks.
Yeah.
Wait, what about, are there any running backs that so you got Bixby in here?
Dobbins, Tootin.
Yeah.
Spears.
I think I'd grab Tootin personally and just swing.
All right. Yeah. I mean, look, we're going full slap, and maybe we get McCarthy to come all the way back to us. Horton definitely does not go in every draft. I mean, I can just prove that right now. Tory Horton's ADP is 235.5. That, like, by definition, that means he does not go in every draft. He's the wide receiver 100.
Horton's going to be a priority for me today because I haven't drafted him a ton. We raised him up. Actually, already raised him up yesterday in the ranks pretty significantly. He's in our top 200 now. I'm starting to see stuff where it's like, yeah, he's in the third round mix. Really productive, pretty athletic. Seriously, I woke up in a Tory Horton cold sweat. That's
your parents must be proud, Pat. They must be like, my boy, he's doing what he loves every day. The guy I want to make happen, and I don't think it's going to, is Nick Nash. I just want I want Nick Nash to just be Julian Edelman. Like, I just want him to, like, kind of get and just he's just a good old ball player.
So the problem is, I've been looking at, I'm prepping for my wide receiver article, and I'm looking at guys who kind of are fourth round dynasty pick sort of level players. Mm-hmm. And it's striking how, like, there really is some diamonds in the rough, from these past classes, but they usually don't hit year one, So even these guys that, like a Nick Nash, like, if he's Julian Edelman, what an outcome! What an amazing outcome for him. Still doesn't matter for best ball this year. Like, Edelman didn't do anything in his rookie year, So I think you gotta.
That is the problem with our rookie, like, using Dynasty Brain to draft big board teams. Is you're right. Just because, like, a guy hangs on with the team does not mean that he is going to produce year one. Good wide receivers sometimes don't. Second round pick wide receivers sometimes don't produce. Often, actually, don't produce in year one. Which is an answer to this question. Are you a fish for being overweight every rookie? I mean, I wouldn't say fish. You're definitely a slappy, though. You're
slappy for sure.
You're definitely a slappy.
Certified slappy. I don't think a fish. I think how are the teams constructed? Like, I have lots of rooms with a bunch of rookie running backs, but I try to mix in the veterans, and so that I'm not like, if you're saying like Tootin is gonna, like, this team, right? Tootin is not going to do anything in the early part of the season, and we should keep that in mind as we.
So we need to take Justice Hill and Ray Davis and Tyler.
Ray Davis makes a lot of sense for this team.
Austin Eckler,
totally.
Yeah.
Those types of guys. I mean, but we already did one. We already ate our vegetables with Connor a little bit. That's one of the reasons I wanted to go Connor instead of Caleb Johnson.
I think we got to just take McCarthy.
Let's take McCarthy.
Yeah. All right, that worked out pretty well.
Yep.
We're gonna build one here. Kerrane, do you think Skattebo is too expensive? Because I think we both kind of thought that for a while on Skattebo, and now we both have kind of changed our minds.
No, I think he's a target.
Yeah. That is where I'm at as well. I was high on him. I was low on him, and now I'm back to being high on Cam Skattebo.
The reason I think he's a target is because, so, like, it's so funny. Like, you basically, like, every single time he comes up, people are like, I don't know, it kind of reminds me of Tyler Gaffney. Like, not Tyler Gaffney, Toby Gerhart.
Toby Gerhart.
I want people to start saying Tyler Gaffney. I think that'd be funnier.
You want to take Pitts, Neal, Ray Davis,
Let's take Ray Davis.
Spears on this team. Yeah, Spears is a good fit. Early season production on this team. I saw Anthony Amico tweeted this. It was a quote of McShay, I believe, who said, "It looks like someone left James Conner in the oven too long. Like he's not quite as explosive, not quite as powerful, but like you can kind of squint and see it." And I really liked that.
I like that too. Yeah, I think the Toby Gerhart one, it doesn't work for me because Skattebo's a pass catcher. Skattebo is like one of the better pass catching running backs in this class. I also was looking at his pass blocking grades. They're not that bad. His pass blocking technique is absurd. He like puts his head down and like butts dudes in their chest, and it's gonna like hurt himself
Also,
pretty badly.
Gerhart really only had one season of the truly, truly, truly insane production, like production that would make your eyes pop. He led college football in attempts, yards, touchdowns, total touches, all that stuff. But he only had 39 receptions in 4 years at Stanford, including 1 year where he got hurt. Skattebo, if you don't even include his Sacramento State stuff, had 45 receptions his final season alone.
Yeah.
And as Tiger Uppercut notes,
he's selling turf, which is to me a huge red flag.
He does have his own branded turf. I don't think Skattebo and Warren are all that similar, because I think the way Skattebo gets on the field is the coach is just like, this man just does it all. Like he's just solid. He's dependable.
He's more like Eckler. If you want to compare him to an undersized third down back, he's more like Eckler. He's just way bigger. But that would be like, if you imagine like a big Eckler, that's kind of, obviously that's an extremely upside way to think about it. But I wouldn't compare him to Warren, who I think is, just an excellent pass blocker, is not putting his head down into guys' chest. Warren, and probably not so much a short yardage guy.
Yeah, Warren, I would not employ as, like, if I was a football coach, I'd be like, if Jalen Warren had to be my interior rusher, sure, but that wouldn't be what I would like want to employ. This feels better to me.
Kareem Hunt, that's a good one.
Kareem Hunt feels better to me. Yeah,
it's a very good one.
I like that a lot. And one of these running backs that we want, and I don't even like Tajay Spears, but like he is going to have a job for the first month of the season. RJ Harvey, Io Manor.
Can we have fun again? I think let's do Harvey. He's fun.
Yeah. Got the shit.
We got Spears.
I have to start keeping these draft analysts, these white draft analysts who all have like monosyllabic names. It's very hard for me to. We got McShay, we have Kuiper, we have Daniel Jeremiah, we have Dan. Like I love these guys and I appreciate their work, but it is very hard for me to remember who says what. And I don't remember which one of them said this, but one of them said yesterday this is this year's Bucky Irving. I think it was Daniel Jeremiah.
Harvey?
Yes.
Okay. I see that. I've almost compared Sampson more to Irving as far as like rushing style.
I'm just out on Sampson. Well, he's fine. All right. We should maybe think about a second tight end here. What do you think?
I kind of like Corum as like a veteran who we know has a job. It's like
has a job. Yeah, he's got a job.
Yeah. He's got a job. Like Harvey or Tootin could just be like nothing.
He's got a job until Dylan Sampson is a Ram.
Until Sampson proves you wrong for downing him. I don't love Sampson. I think Sampson goes round 3, and I'm nervous that some of these other guys fall.
Maybe it was Trevor Sycamore who said it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now Sycamore is a different generation. That's
different generation.
That's a bummer for Sycamore, who's like a young guy in his 20s, just got married. Congrats.
No,
Trevor.
that's on me. It's not on any of these guys.
It's raising kids.
I've only got so many brain cells. That
Mel Kiper. How much older is Mel Kiper than Trevor Sycamore?
Yeah, Mel Kiper's definitely in his 60s compared to all these dudes, but they're all
Mel Kiper could easily be Trevor Sycamore's dad.
To me, these guys are all an amalgam. Dane is on his own because I read The Beast every year. Like Dane is like his own entity, but all the rest of these guys to me are kind of a monolith. And that's
Dane does less content as well. So every Dane podcast is like a little bit, it sticks in your head a little bit more because you're like, oh, I get to listen to Dane.
Yeah. I mean, these guys are, I mean, they're integral for this event and for dynasty rookie drafts and stuff, but like also I then forget about them for the next 7 months.
Right. No, I do really enjoy this year. I've probably grinded it more than I ever have, but I do enjoy like the, the rise and fall of kind of the buzz on this guy, and then
For
kind
sure.
of cools and all that. McShay, I mean, he's been fun. I like his podcast. It's so different than when he was on ESPN, because on ESPN he's like part of these like quick hitting segments,
Right.
and he hosts his own show, and he just like he's got, I think maybe he's got some ADD, as do I. No no shade, but he kind of just like jumps subject to subject, and then he has like a co-host, I guess, but he never throws to him because he just kind of keeps going, like, it's just like, so it's very entertaining.
Yeah, nothing of what I'm saying is meant to be a criticism of these men. I think they all do a good job and should like feel happy about their work, but it just like for me, because from May to December,
we move on to other subjects.
Which is like what is, I don't even know, what is Dane Wright in May?
I think he starts working on the next Beast, to be honest.
Yeah, he probably does. All right, we need a wide receiver here. Our wide receiver room is Jefferson, Ladd, Marvin, Addison, Burden. You could argue we need an adult, a Wandale, a Tolbert, a Gabe Davis. I don't know, or I mean, we could take a tight end here. What do you think?
This is normally where I start thinking about Harold Fannin, but we could probably push him.
We can definitely. Let's take Wandale.
Wandale seems fine.
136 points last year. Is Wandale a good pick that you should have 20% of in the big board? Probably not.
No. But he's fine. It's like as a wide receiver 6, when you waited on wide receiver 6, I think it's fine.
I mean, I would say the difference between the rookie running backs and the premium handcuffs is the premium handcuffs have already established something that RJ Harvey might not, which is they're on an NFL roster. Like, don't get me wrong, I like RJ Harvey, but there's a chance that he's Isaiah Davis. There's a chance that he's just one of these guys who just, it's a bad spot, doesn't work out, his coach doesn't like him, whatever. Do you want to take Fannin and then get whatever we get for our third tight end?
Yeah. Pull up the question again.
The question is, what is the difference between rookie running backs in the big board and the Corums, Bensons, the Braylon Allens?
Yeah, no, I see what he's saying. We're not necessarily getting more early season production when we take a Corum, but there is like the rookie running backs are true scratch offs where like they might be zeros, as you're saying. That the other thing is that like one of these guys might be Achan, and so I'm kind of breaking. If I think I can get away with adding a rookie, I prefer to add a rookie generally, because that's where the big upside outcomes are, where they don't have to.
You can tell yourself better stories.
Yeah. Like Harvey could be. I mean, film guys are comping him to Aaron Jones. I think that was a McShay comp. That's exciting. That's pretty exciting. Dude's really explosive. He's 24 years old, which is not great from a dynasty perspective, but he's ready to contribute right away.
Does it even really matter? Actually,
I don't think so for this year.
Well, no, I just even for dynasty, because it's like,
we'll forget.
Well, you'll forget, and it's like, does anyone care that Ray Davis is 26 right now? No. I think he's 25, but he might be 26. I'm Googling it, so
it's so true.
He is going to turn 26 in November.
But you know what? Ray Davis is a second-year back. No one remembers that.
No one actually cares that he's closer in age to Austin Eckler than Ashton Jeanty.
It's so funny.
Yeah. Okay, Kerrane, I gotta know. Are you woke enough to know Land Larison?
I'm not. Someone was asking me about Land Larison though.
He's like probably he's this year's He's this year's Lauby, Laird.
Oh yeah, you brought this up on ADP chasing. Yeah, we talked about this.
Insanely productive FCS running back. Trying to get him on the podcast.
How old is he?
No update there. Oh, that's a great. I mean, he's got to be old.
Because I have to say, go ahead.
Well, you know, he's of that type of prospect where you can't always find a birthday for him.
Yeah, that's a good sign for his.
Like, remember when you used to have to go to like the college Elon's website to get Aaron Millett stats?
I would just Google John Moore on Twitter and see what he had. Yeah, because he would like he would hunt down, and I think Anthony Mika's done some of this too, where you like actually go on the dude's Instagram and like find like a birthday celebration.
I'm gonna guess Lane Larison has not made it there yet. All right, we need another tight end probably. Do you want to take our third rookie tight end, or do you want to? We should take an adult. We should take Tyler.
Let's take an adult. Or Theo Johnson. Yeah, Conklin actually makes sense.
Yeah.
We might want to take a fourth, to be honest, with a dude like that.
Lane Larison is an unbelievably good name for a folk singer, and frankly, he kind of looks like a folk singer.
Dude, Lane Larison would sell so many albums.
I mean, that guy looks like a folk singer a little bit, right? Curly hair.
He looks like a future folk singer. You get the hair. The hair needs to grow out. You get the mustache becomes a beard, and then you're just torn. I mean, it doesn't even have to be folk. You could do bluegrass. You got a favorite
late wide receiver?
I honestly don't mind Mike Williams, given that we have Herbert, but
I don't really either. Actually, I do. I hate Mike Williams, and I think he's a terrible.
It's your rankings, isn't it?
But but I bake ADP into my
I hear
stuff.
You.
Anyway, we will definitely. I will continue to try and get Lane Larison on the show. I will ask him how old he is. He looks a bit. He looks a bit more like a folk singer when he's in his uniform.
That's bad, right? Oh no, you're right.
He's got the headband on.
Kind of got a Baker Mayfield vibe. Yeah.
He does play exactly like you think he would. But I've watched a little bit of him. It is frankly exactly what you would expect him to look like. Okay, neighborhood, if you live near UC Davis, this is actually what I need you to do. I need you to go down to their athletics office and have their administrator email me back, because I'm trying to set up an interview with this guy, and he like retweets scouting profiles on his Twitter, a la Dylan Lauby. So like,
does he have an agent?
Gotta be no
try to go through the agent.
Has an agent. Yeah.
No way he has an agent. Seems like a good best ball pick. This guy couldn't get an agent to save his life. Anyway, let's take him.
I think I took him once as a bit. He is, because you and I are in. Yes, Lauby did have an agent, has an agent, and his agent follows me on Twitter, and his agent is also Cam Ward's agent.
Damn.
And the entirety of his timeline is explaining why Cam Ward is the greatest football player to ever live. That every tweet, every retweet, it is all, not only is Cam Ward a great quarterback, but he's a great person. It is beyond over the top agent behavior.
What would you do? Would you be like, go with like the Rosenhaus, like, one of these big time agents, power brokers?
Oh, I'd go no agent.
No agent.
In the NFL, it's actually insane to have an agent.
So you're betting on yourself, because if you're no agent, you should probably be like a superstar, right?
Well, first off, you are going to get the contract you get as a rookie anyway. There's no negotiating.
Right. There's no point in having an agent right away. That's true.
All right. Do you want to take another wide receiver, or do you want to take a fourth tight end? I think, frankly, a fourth tight end actually.
I want to take a fourth tight end.
Yeah.
Did Theo Johnson go? He would
Taylor,
make sense.
Mayer. Theo Johnson went. Taysom. Disley, Mayer.
We go Disley and just try to like farm some production out of that.
No, that feels like giving up. I'd rather take a Rondé Gadsden if we're giving up.
Let's take Taylor.
All right, we'll take Mr. Perfect Gauntlet route himself. So in the NFL, if you are going to be great, there's just absolutely no need for an agent. Like none.
Right.
And you can always hire an agent. This actually is generally not true. You generally have different agents for this. Generally, your NFL agent will not be the same agent who represents you with your like Gatorade deal or whatever. Not to say that is always the case, but generally speaking, that is true. But like, Lamar doesn't have an agent. A couple of these guys don't have agents, and Lamar's going to get the contract he gets.
I mean, he did have that whole saga, and it did seem to be partly related to him not having an agent. But frankly, if the NFL had any sense whatsoever, he wouldn't be on the Ravens. The Ravens were like, I don't know. You guys want
He was
Lamar?
almost a Falcon. And then the Falcons were like, we're good.
We got Desmond Ritter.
What a bunch of
idiots. They don't get nearly enough crap for that.
Lamar like was available. Lamar was gettable.
Lamar was gettable, and the NFL didn't do it. It's crazy. They just fumbled the bag. You had him.
Now, baseball, you definitely need an agent. And if you are not a superstar player in the NBA, and even if you are a superstar, you definitely need an agent because there's so much player movement. Like your agent is the guy who engineers trades. Your agent handles all this stuff that's super important. But like, what does Patrick Mahomes need an agent for?
I don't know.
I guess maybe actually if you're that highly paid, the thing you need an agent for is the year-to-year renegotiation of how much cash you get so the team can free up salary cap.
That's what it would be. It's that they're renegotiating his contract so often that it's like it's actually
a full-time job.
Yeah, it's too much time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although like if you're Mahomes, most of what they're doing is converting like future salary into signing bonuses and stuff, right? So it's more like sign here type stuff, I would think.
My memory on this is that this is not true. And the other thing is, obviously, T. Higgins would have never been available for 2 firsts. 2 firsts for Lamar Jackson is actually perfectly reasonable. So it's surprising to me that no team wanted to do that.
Yeah, what the situation was that the Ravens were kind of like, okay, we'll let another team like negotiate the deal that you think you can get, and then we'll match that deal. But there's all sorts of ways that they could have made that deal difficult for the Ravens to match. And it's sort of like, are you definitely going to get Lamar Jackson if you give him a really good deal? No, the Ravens might be able to find a way to keep him. But you shoot the shot, right? You don't just like not enter the tournament. It was like one of the most plus EV tournaments that a team could have entered. And they're just like, oh, I don't know. We probably won't win. Like, dude, the investment of time relative to the potential winnings is so tilted in your favor here. How are you just going to skip this? It was embarrassing. It was truly embarrassing that no teams. I mean, even at the time, like regardless of the fact that Lamar's had 2 MVP quality seasons since, but even at the time, it was obvious they should have been going after him. It was kind of like, it was just like narrow thinking, It was like, oh, I don't know. We probably won't get him. Why even try?
Yeah, 100%. Like, if one team had really put together a coordinated effort of wooing Lamar Jackson, of being like, oh, Lamar, we love you. We want you. We're going to give you whatever we want. We're going to hire your brother to do some job in the front office. So he's going to have a check, all this stuff. This frankly is the thing. You're right, though, but it's because the NFL doesn't want the players to have the power.
I agree. I think it was collusion.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, that I didn't even really think of that, but of course that is why. All right.
But that's all the more reason to give the NFL more crap about this. that it functionally was
Yeah.
collusion against one of their best players to get paid what he's worth.
Wow, big poker scores. What do you grinding code Doug? You grind on the World Poker Tour site? I downloaded the World Poker Tour, or I like re-signed up for account, and I was just like, I'm not doing this, man. Sweepstakes points. It's just like, and I already have so many things that draw on my time and things to think about. I was like, I cannot get re-addicted to poker. Like,
Yeah.
I don't have time in my life to get re-addicted to poker right now. All right, final team, Kerrane. We got Kyler doubled with Connor and Marvin Harrison. We have Herbert doubled with Ladd and Tyler Conklin. We have McCarthy doubled with Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. How would you grade this running back room? Hampton, James Conner, Bayshell Tootin, Tajay Spears, RJ Harvey, Blake Corum. That might be a room you look at in October and you're in 11th in your pod and you're like, dude, what? What was I thinking?
Yeah.
What was the plan there?
I would grade it as optimistic, but I will say, I mean, Hampton will be, I think, producing fairly quickly. So, by like week 4 or 5, I think you're going to feel like you've got 2 good starters in Hampton and Connor. Now, Connor might be falling off around week 6. So you're going to need someone to kind of step up fairly quickly after that. And that's why it's optimistic.
You are going to need, like, if we get 0 breakouts out of Tootin, Harvey, Corum, like just it doesn't break their way. You're not, this team is not advancing. Pretty simple.
Right.
Yeah. Wide receivers, a little worried about your running backs. I do like your wide receivers. Justin Jefferson, Ladd McConkey, Marvin Harrison, Jordan Addison, Luther Burden, Wandale, Mike Williams. A little worried about the tight ends. Tyler Warren. This is a good question. First month of the season, in September, how many cumulative fantasy points from a room of Tyler Warren, Harold Fannin, Tyler Conklin, Mason Taylor?
Like 20.
Yeah. We might have went a
Guess what? We'll still be like third. We'll still be third.
Third in tight end points.
No. Third from the bottom, probably. But
it'll be. Well, we managed to be weak at every. Well, our wide receivers are not weak.
How are we weak at quarterback? Give me a break.
Yeah, it's because the strength is piled in at quarterback and wide receiver, and every best ball drafter thinks their quarterbacks and wide receivers are good in every draft. It's just the nature of the beast.
It's the nature of the beast.
All right, let's hop in another one. So this is now big board 121. So we're almost done. I did a good job. I did a good job pulling back on the reins as they needed to be pulled back on. But I'm excited to kind of get into the sprint here.
The Davis Mattek YouTube channel is made possible by viewers like you. Every subscriber, memby, and super chat goes to ensuring Davis doesn't have to work at State Farm. Thank you.
I love that.
It's just so good.
My God.
Yeah.
Oh, that was awesome.
All right, we got the 101, so we can just take Jamar Chase here. I just sent, speaking of Mr. Lanners, 18 and 20 points and at least 2 to 3 times Will Mallory scores, and you get excited because you think it's Tyler Warren for a second.
Oh, no.
What number does Will Mallory wear? Because I guarantee it's a dumb one.
We're gonna need to know. We're definitely gonna need to know.
You're definitely gonna need to know. Oh, actually, he doesn't wear a dumb number. Okay, Will Mallory wears 86.
Okay.
So that will not be Cincinnati Bengals confusion. So the Bengals.
Yeah, but Warren's gonna wear like 88 or 80.
No, 44 is like his whole personality.
Oh, it is. Okay, good.
He wears it because his dad told him to play like John Riggins.
Oh, right. I forgot that. Okay,
but the Bengals all in the 80s had Tanner Hudson, Drew Sample, and Mike Gesicki. There's just no way to tell those guys apart with their helmets on. I'm sorry.
I know. Well, there was that last year's Hunter Henry, Austin Hooper.
Yeah,
who like moved the same.
and 81.
Yeah, and they like have the same physical movements.
I want to say there was maybe even another tight end who wore 80s who was active for a little bit as well. Yes, Tanner Hudson, Gesicki, Sample, Hudson, and Tanner McLaughlin was active for a couple games, so they were all there in the 80s. I think you'll be able to tell Bobo and Cup apart just based off of the suddenness of movement, but maybe Cooper Kupp is so down bad that you won't be able to.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
Did we get when Joe Burrow was talking? He was like, "We got to keep the core together. We got to sign Jamar, T, and Mike." Did we get any good memes from that? Because that is one of the ultimate.
I believe Mike Gesicki literally tweeted that.
Okay,
I believe I gotta go find, but I believe he actually like he quote tweeted the podcast or wherever where that appeared from with the finger pointing meme.
Thank God. That is one of the all-time me moments ever.
Yeah, he was like,
good for Mike. That makes me like him a lot.
Maybe I think now if I remember correctly, I think he explained it to someone. Like someone told him about it, and he was like, "I told my wife that," and I was literally the me guy pointing meme. I don't think he tweeted it.
He didn't tweet it. Okay.
I believe he verbally said it.
Nice.
Jelani Woods and Moheli Cox, tight end 1 and tight end 2 overall. I mean, yeah, somehow people are still going to be drafting Jelani Woods this year. Eric All erased himself.
Mm-hmm.
Sam Sherman erased him, actually, is what happened.
Come on, man. He was in Maine.
Hot take, man. I actually don't really enjoy the first pick because I don't think it is the structural advantage that it used to be. Like when McCaffrey was the clear 101 and all that stuff, like it used to just, you got so many points. And the guys you're picking from at the 2-3 turn, to me, are no different than the guys who are going at 36, 37.
I disagree with that. For one thing, I think McBride is a smash.
What's the difference between T. Higgins and Marvin Harrison?
I mean, yeah, okay. T. Higgins is like, you're kind of hoping Marvin Harrison will become what T. Higgins is, I guess, but it's fair enough. I think McBride is just a smash.
But in my head, I've already projected that improvement.
Well, there he goes. Right.
Like in my head, Marvin Harrison's already taken the leap.
Right.
Bucky, Jacobs, T.
Let's do Bucky.
What about pulling up a little DJ Moore?
Sure. Let's do it. We might be able to do the double.
Yeah. I, in general, just don't love the idea of going into a final where like, oh, dude, Burrow and Chase and T was exactly what you needed. And being like, it's like there's some meme that would more properly explain this. But like, it's just like half the fucking final in the big board is T. Higgins, Joe Burrow. Like I would rather 1v1 that with DJ Moore or Marvin Harrison or Xavier Worthy or Trey McBride or whatever.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I mean, it's so expensive.
Yes. Yeah. I agree. And it's just like I would assume it is like the most common build. Like what is the most popular combinatorial pairing of first, second, and third round players? It's got to be Jamar Chase, Josh Jacobs, T. Higgins.
And then you get Burrow potentially as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, that's 3 of your first 4 picks. Plus like not a ton of running back. Because the other thing about Underdog is, and this is, I think, more true this time of year than, let's say, August. There's like not that much movement and not that much differentiation in terms of what people are doing at the various turns. It's not like you're going to have that team with, I don't know, like even that team with like Jonathan Taylor is probably like fairly rare because Taylor doesn't fall that often. Certainly not with like an Achan, and probably not with the reaches. You're not going to see it that often with James Cook. Maybe you will if he falls, but you know what I mean. Like there's probably a fair amount of overlap.
It literally happened in the last draft. Just want that on the record. Rusty's saying it's been a minute since I've seen Burrow fall back to the 6-7. It did literally just happen in the last draft we did. So I'm not saying it happens every time. It's a huge fall. It has to be the right circumstance. I mean, basically, it kind of has to be a streamed draft where it's all people who are paying attention and who like don't want to be made fun of. Dude, you took naked Burrow at 64. What are you gonna win with Burrow, Gesicki? No chance, dude. You're drawn dead. Could pull up Chase Brown. I mean, what is Chase Brown's ADP if the Bengals leave if the Bengals backfield is Travion Williams, Chase Brown, and Samaj P. Ryan? What is Chase Brown's ADP?
Probably the 211.
I'm taking him ahead of Bucky.
Yeah.
Bucky,
I think he'd go just ahead of Bucky.
Bucky has a bona fide. I mean, he stinks, but he stinks the same way Zach Moss stinked. I actually don't think this is true. I don't.
You're saying
Zach
Rashad
Moss
White. You didn't finish
yes.
the thought there, but you're saying
sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I believe Zach Moss is a free agent. Is this true? Is he still there?
I think he's still there. I think he signed a 2-year deal.
I mean, he was placed on the IR with a neck injury.
Yeah, I mean, he might not be there week 1, but I think he's still technically under contract.
All right, let me look at his SPO track. Yeah, he can be cut for no money.
Yeah, so he probably gets cut. But why cut him now? You might as well.
Actually, he can be cut post June 1st for $3.5 million of savings.
Maybe that's how they signed Trey Hendrickson.
Maybe that's how they signed Trey. And there we go. Big, huge fall here. How does Chase Brown go? I've been noticing this. People have been pulling Rashee Rice back up. Is there something going on with...
There was a little while ago, Jeff Mueller was like...
posted a video of him working out.
And was like, I'm kind of back in now. So that was interesting. But that was like a month ago at least. I do think we take Burrow here, right? I'm down to take Ted as well.
I don't... Sure. We'll do it. I hate it, but we'll do it.
We could take Kittle if you want.
I have, funnily enough, because I always try and push it when I get the 101, I probably have way less of this combo than the field.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's hard to stack in the big board. Burrow and Chase are, obviously their ceilings are pretty tied together. We're investing with you take Chase in the 101. You're like really hoping the Bengals just kind of keep the pedal to the floor. So I think Burrow's overpriced, but I don't want to have zero of the stack.
I don't want to have zero of the stack. And the point you make is actually lost on, me and many people, which is that it is actually just by the nature of what we're doing, it's much harder to stack in the big board because there are so many unknown things. I mean, we don't know who Tet's playing for. We don't know who Travis Hunter's playing for. We don't know who Cam Ward's playing for. We don't know who Shadur is playing for. My new take, by the way, is I think Dart might go ahead of Shadur.
I don't think that's crazy at all. I really don't. Because Shador's not going to go top 3, it looks like. So then
his over-under is moved to 8.5 now.
Yeah. Okay. So that's right ahead of the Saints.
Yeah.
What do the Saints want to do? Because the Saints have Carr, obviously. They can sit a guy for a year. If you're sitting a guy for a year, I think I'd rather have Dart. Like who has more of a ceiling after a year or two of seasoning? It's got to be Dart.
Yeah.
We're going to teach this guy the system. We're going to, bet on the physical tools a little bit more. The other thing is that Shador, if I were the Saints, I do not think I would be that excited about him in like a Kellen Moore offense. I think Shador's got to land with I don't even know. Are there any of these Shanahan teams? Like Shador would be interesting. Actually, here's one. If the Rams took him, if he fell to the Rams and they grabbed him in the first round, is like we're gonna sit him, but he's gonna be the heir apparent to Stafford. Yeah. And once when he finally comes in, like all the sack stuff is going to be sorted out, and he's just going to be like the ultimate version of one of these point guards in the McVay system. That would be like where I'd actually start to get excited about him.
Why
we'd have to wait a couple
why
years.
is this Rodgers thing still not done? Someone just said Shador to the Steelers. I mean, imagine the Steelers asking Aaron Rodgers to mentor Deion Sanders' son. Okay, Aaron, look, this is what we'd like you to do. We would like you to just, go sit down in a room with Deion and Shador and just kind of work out what the plan is going to be, what your working relationship is going to be like, Just imagine that conversation. Brutal.
Oh my God.
That is a hard thing about being one of these old guys, is like, if you're like Flacco's like, yeah, man, I'll come in, I'll sit on the bench, I don't care. Flacco's not out here demanding to start, So teams are like, sure, Joe, we'd love to have you.
Right.
But like Rodgers is like, get the fuck out of here, bro. I'm not a bridge. I'm not a bridge to nothing.
You are, buddy.
I'm
sorry to tell you.
I am
the river. I'm not a bridge. I'm the river.
I'm not a bridge. I'm the river.
Hey, that's cool, man. Can you mentor Shador, please?
No thanks. I think we go Judkins.
Judkins is great.
And then which wide receiver? Well, we could double up on running backs here, actually.
Yeah, let's definitely go Judkins, and then
Burden, Igbuka.
See, I would go like Igbuka, or I would go Jacoby here. I would consider Shakir here.
Jacoby could be an adult presence in this room and gives us
an adult presence as a wide receiver 4 would be helpful.
Yeah. Okay. I never take Pete famously castigated me for how low my Jacoby ranking was.
Jacoby serves a purpose. Like, I think he helps fill out this room pretty well.
Yeah, I'm pretty much done with Jaden Reed. I'm pretty much done with 67%
I have a hard
of the
time
routes.
with it.
67% of the routes on a team who all offseason has been saying, we don't have a wide receiver 1 and we'd really like to get one. Like we'd really like, this is true. Jacoby is definitely missionary, but yeah, what are you going to do? I mean, Reed can definitely still be a spike week guy, but I'm the River is going to be the first hit folk song by Lan Larison. It's true. Siegel still big on Reed. That's not surprising to me. That is he's a very Siegel-y player.
Yeah.
People forget Ricky
is
White.
Siegel high on Bert or on Reed now? Because he doesn't feel very Sean coded to me now.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't checked in, but people do forget at Michigan State for the one game that Ricky White played before he got banned from the team. He was better than Jaden Reed and Jalen Naylor. That's real, by the way. That is not a made up thing. He started a game against Michigan, absolutely dominated those guys, and then I don't remember what happened. I believe he committed a crime.
Sean has Jaden Reed ahead of ADP.
Okay,
so he does. Yeah.
Brady from Delaware is on the Delaware Country Club golf course that's actually in Pennsylvania.
In PA,
entering slows. Yeah.
He walked out of his door in Delaware and went across the street in PA.
Went across the street to a different This would actually be the funniest thing possible.
Oh,
The Atlanta.
my God.
No, the funniest thing possible would be the Falcons taking Jeanty. I mean, that would just be it would actually be the funniest. I mean, it could never happen, but it would actually be it would be so funny.
I actually think that the league might have to veto that one. You know, we can't have that.
Yeah. T-Bear says Ricky White allegedly committed a crime.
We do think I think we need the allegedly there, because it did feel, just from my spot over here, it felt like wild speculation.
No, it's 100% confirmed. That is why he got kicked off the team at Michigan State.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But I don't know if it ever led to like a conviction or anything like that. Let me see if I can do some quick research. He enters the transfer portal. I mean, goddamn. I mean, you start going down these regional newspapers. I mean, you will get met with so many ads. I can't
Oh
possibly.
my God.
MichiganLive.com. Coach Mel Tucker said Ricky White and true defenseman back are not participating in team activities. Okay, not finding any upgraded information on why, but I just do know from reading scouting reports that's how he ended up at UNLV. I mean, you go from Michigan State to UNLV, you did something.
You did something. I don't know what. Okay. I don't know if you definitely did it, but something happened.
What do you want? I think we take Caleb here.
Yeah, I like that.
Caleb and Njoku, Kelsey, Andrews, Warren.
Yeah. I think Andrews is probably fine at this price. A little bit past ADP.
All right. I actually am totally fine taking him also without Lamar. We might get a little bit of correlation here. Cincinnati and Baltimore might play in week 17.
I like that.
Why did Ricky White leave Michigan State? The Google AI answer will be great.
Yeah, Google AI definitely won't make it up.
All right. Per Reddit, he was under investigation for sexual assault charges, but ended up not getting prosecuted. But that's why. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Mel Tucker, the Michigan State head coach, also got fired from Michigan State for some sexual assault thing.
Jesus.
That is almost certainly true, because I know Mel Tucker did get fired. Michigan State. Yes. Yep. He did get fired for sexual harassment. There you go. So that is a deep breakdown as to why I think Ricky White is draftable in the 20th round in the big board. Because I think Ricky White is probably secretly good at football.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of intrigued by the profile. I've considered starting to mix him in now.
45% dominator rating final season at UNLV.
I'm trying to to the question earlier about, these receivers and not being a great class. I am trying to not get too overweight on anybody. I was taking a bunch of Jack Bash earlier. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, I'm cooling it with Jack Bash. The hype seems to be cooling down a little bit in terms of where he's going to get drafted, and Kyle Williams is kind of the flavor of the month there. And I'm just like, okay, let's draft Kyle Williams then. These guys are all pretty similar. So I don't think that we want to just completely fade the group, because the NFL could use some more wide receivers. These guys are going to get opportunities, even if they stink. From a long-term perspective, they might produce down the stretch of their rookie seasons. The Tyquan Thornton of the world. So for what we're trying to accomplish, I think some of these guys are actually pretty solid, like 20th round picks. But I don't want to be I don't want to just show up with a gigantic bag of any one of them.
Led college football in punt blocks. Ricky White.
That is bullish.
He also sued Michigan State. I'm kind of deep down a Reddit page right now. He sued Michigan State. He and his dad did for like however they handled the process.
Interesting.
As Brett's pointing out, someone with this much personal drama, almost certainly a Chief.
I think we're going to draft him then. We're definitely drafting him. Should we just get out ahead of it and draft him now before he's a Chief?
Is Mario Anderson? I mean, is that I know that guy. He's not available. Oh no, he is running back 109. Mario Anderson. I want to say, let me guess off the top of my head. I believe he went to Memphis. Mario Anderson. Yes. Wow, dude, I do know ball. Memphis Tigers running back. Mario Anderson.
Wow.
Was pretty good, actually, his final season at Memphis. You know, Memphis running backs. I mean, Memphis running backs are like locks to make NFL rosters.
They are. They are. By year 4, they might get an opportunity.
Darrell Henderson got an opportunity. He's like the only
That's
one.
true.
Patrick Taylor still
wasn't Pollard
kicking
Memphis?
around. Who?
Was Pollard Memphis?
Yes.
Yeah. So he got an opportunity. In I think year 4.
Yeah. He Patrick Taylor, Tony Pollard,
Gainwell?
Gainwell, and one other guy were all on the same team together. Gibson.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. We have got
Njoku, honestly, pretty solid.
I think this is Njoku Hollywood.
Sure.
I mean, Hollywood Brown is just gonna outscore Jacoby Myers. Maybe not cumulatively, but he will add more points to a roster.
We'll see what the Raiders do at wide receiver, but I don't know. This goes to my bullishness on the Raiders. Chip Kelly's going to have an efficient passing offense with overall play volume, right?
Yeah, people they do forget the Chip Kelly super juicing offenses.
I don't understand why there isn't more excitement around. We're going from Luke Getsy to Chip Kelly.
It's because it's Raiders stink.
We're going from Aiden O'Connell to Geno Smith. Like, this is a different team. This is a different offense.
All right,
the quarterback and the OC are completely different. That's huge for the top 2 pass catchers. If they draft Tet McMillan at 6, I'll have a different take on Jacoby, but I don't think they're going to do that.
The 2018 Memphis Tigers had Darrell Henderson, Patrick Taylor Jr., who's still in the NFL, Kenny Gainwell, Calvin Austin,
oh wow,
Antonio Gibson, and they had one other guy. Maybe it was the next year. They had another guy who's in the NFL forever.
It is tough when you're looking, because I'm, like I said, I'm digging into the receivers right now, and it's tough where you go.
Anthony Miller. Anthony Miller.
Oh, Anthony Miller.
Yeah.
Calvin Austin is like a good outcome for a number of
yes.
These, like,
if Ricky White puts together Calvin Austin's career, I'm like, hell yeah, dude, you did it.
But it's just so useless for us, So you kind of have to keep that in mind.
It's so useless for us unless he gets a long one in week 17. That's literally it.
Right.
Yeah.
But I do think you want to focus your fire on the day 2 picks there. Like, that's where I'm just like, if basically anybody that the NFL is like, I think this guy is an early 3rd rounder, I'm like, great. Then I think I'll draft him. Like, I don't want to get too precise on the profiles, because these day 3 guys who emerge, they're probably going to emerge year 2 or year 3.
I want to say I call on Pete Carroll's never had good wide receivers.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
I will just immediately call, and you will fold.
Have you ever heard of Doug Baldwin?
Have you ever heard of Sidney Rice? Have you ever heard of Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf?
DK Metcalf?
Oh, okay. Never mind. He forgot. Oh. He forgot to use.
Well, you know what, Eric? You got us.
You did.
Totally took the bait there.
It's because he also is unfamiliar with T-Bear. T-Bear is, I would say, the all-time GOAT at missing the forest for the trees. He is T-Bear, absolute GOAT of being all in.
What's he saying about Pete
trees.
Carroll?
He basically is saying that Pete Carroll's being a boring old guy supersedes what Chip Kelly is going to do to the offense.
Yeah, Pete Carroll's a defensive guy and kind of more CEO and culture. So
yeah, he's going to let
that would be missing the forest for the trees. I would say, yeah.
He's going to let Chip cook. The thing that he and Chip agree on is the
running the ball.
The importance of running the ball.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But Chip's perfect that way because Chip will run the ball, but it's a fast-paced offense. So
and they throw a lot near the goal line. Chip loves to throw near the goal line. Big on that.
Pete Carroll likes to throw near the goal line too, as we learned in the Super Bowl.
He does. Tyquan Thornton is the evidence of it doesn't matter unless it's week 17. All right, so we've got Burrow, Caleb, Bucky, Judkins, Jamar Chase, DJ Moore, Ted McMillan, Jacoby Myers, Hollywood Brown, Mark Andrews, and David Njoku, David Kelsey. So what we need to do on this team is we're going to reach at this next turn because we need running backs. It's kind of a dead zone for running backs.
Mm-hmm.
Like the wide receiver, this is kind of the last of a tier of wide receivers. But I would prefer to at least add one running back here. I'm
good with Samson. And you said you're out though.
No, that's fine. Samson, okay. Harvey, Giddens, and then this would kind of be like our last chance to get a guy that we think like has ceiling at wide receiver. I
think we can wait. These are more like adults. I don't think we need another adult. We have a couple of them. All
right, Brett. I'll pay you your $10. We'll take DJ Giddens.
Let's take DJ Giddens. Give Brett
DJ Giddens. DJ Giddens is a hashtag very fun player.
Giddens is very fun.
Yeah. He's I don't know, what would you say your pro comp for DJ Giddens is?
Maybe, I mean, if we want to get like really, really frothy.
Yeah, well, no, let's do the Charmander, Charmeleon, Charizard of DJ Giddens. Let me pull up
my comps on him real quick. Let me pull up my actual statistical comps because I have one that goes back further. That's the Charizard.
Okay. You know what gets me?
Pull up someone.
You know what gets me insanely excited is when I run the RotoViz box score scout and I get Jamal Charles. Whenever it's like obviously no one is ever gonna be Jamal Charles, but just whenever that shows up, I'm like, yes, yeah, I absolutely love to see it.
So what's the baby one? Is that
Okay, we gotta look this up. Charizard Evolutions. I don't want to get this wrong because we got it wrong last time. It is. Guys, what is the evolution? Is Charmander, Charmeleon, Charizard.
Okay. All right. So his Charmander, I will say, is Izzy Abanikanda.
Oh. Yeah.
His Charmeleon is Cam Akers.
Let
me say I'll change. I'll change this to DeAndre Swift.
That's better.
Yeah. Okay. His Charmeleon is DeAndre Swift. His Charizard is LaShawn McCoy.
Yes. That totally that totally checks for me. Yeah. I mean, if we're using Cam Akers the prospect, then I would get with that as a. It
was more the prospect, yeah.
Yes, because he was a
DeAndre
good
Swift
prospect.
is a better one anyway. Both were comps for him in my.
Another potential Charizard for him would be J.K. Dobbins. J.K. Dobbins, the prospect, not J.K. Dobbins, the NFL player, but J.K. Dobbins, the prospect.
Yeah, I mean, he. The thing about Giddens, and I was talking with JJ Zachariason was on the pod earlier this week, and we were talking Giddens, and he comes out really well in his stuff, and he was saying like, if you look at like him, if he basically gets an opportunity, he all of a sudden starts to look like these 3-down starters, like a Joe Mixon type of guy. He comps to like all these very productive backs, but does he get the opportunity that you would expect from like a second round pick, or does he kind of have to earn it over time? And then by the time he kind of finally gets the role, maybe he's like burned some of the juice, That's one of the reasons draft capital matters so much. It's like, do you spend your best NFL years proving that you should play, or do you spend them producing? And I just really hope he's a third round pick and gets an immediate opportunity, because he's a very well-rounded player. He does a bunch of the stuff we like, and he's 212 and he's really athletic. What did that say?
If you're ever around young kids, mispronouncing Pokemon names and then letting them correct you is good shtick.
I like
100%.
that.
That would have made like 13-year-old me super pissed off. I would have been like, no, dude, it's Blastoise. You messed it up. That's terrible. All right.
Hey, it looks. Was that Blaster there?
Oh my god, so triggering. I would have been so mad.
You got to evolve into Blaster.
All right, Burrow, Caleb. Yeah. Oh, and one of the wide receivers I would have wanted to take came all the way back to us. You want to take Wicks?
Sure.
Wicks, Io Manor, Noel, Bond. Could take another running back. We could take an adult running back here. We could take Braylon.
I'm not sure he's an adult.
I forget you're such a hater.
I think Isaiah Davis might be the adult.
Oh, I mean, it's so funny because I liked Isaiah Davis as a prospect, but because he went against my other favorite prospect, I have to hate him now.
I mean, isn't the whole thing with Allen that he's like still 15 years old?
Yeah.
He's
you know what?
Objectively not an adult.
You know what? We have Bucky, so the whole team rests on Bucky's health and production anyways.
Right.
So, and a pretty adult wide receiver room: Chase, Moore, Tet, Jacoby Myers, Hollywood Brown, Dontavian Wicks, Alec, Io Manor. I say his name different every time. I think
it might be Io Manor.
Yeah.
I need to listen. I've still not gotten Albert Okwebunam down. I think I just did it correct there. I think it's Okwebunam.
I thought it was
now that he's no longer in the league. No, I went back recently because he comped to other. He was a tight end comp for me. I was like, God damn it! I have.
By the way, Albert O is on the fun. What would be the funniest team for Albert O to be under contract for?
The Colts.
The Colts. He's a Colt.
Yes. Zach, we need the graph. Come on, man. That's so good. Oh man.
How have running backs performed with Fields? I mean, they've both been okay, right? Well, the 2021 year. I really, it's so long ago, I barely remember.
Montgomery was pretty good with Fields.
2022, which was the year Fields giga smash for fantasy.
I think that was Montgomery's year, right?
So Montgomery was in like a clear split with Khalil Herbert, 201 rushes to 129 rushes, 40 targets for Montgomery, 12 for Herbert, 6 touchdowns. I would say.
No, he had that run though, right? Didn't he have that run? Or was that 2023?
Having that run sounds correct. Let's look. 2022, David Montgomery. No, he did not have a run.
Was it 2021?
Pretty average. But if you put that into one guy, if you put his stats, that's a lot they had 558 team rushes. So if you gave half of Khalil Herbert's production to Montgomery, it would have been a huge smash. Would have been awesome.
Yeah, I want to see. Montgomery had a run. It might have been 2021. He had a run where it was like he just went nuts.
I would assume it was 2021 because he had more touches, receptions, and touchdowns that year. So I think you're thinking 2021.
Okay.
Which did coincide with Fields starting at the end of that year. So 2021 for Montgomery, he had 23 for 106 and 2 against Detroit, and then he scored a bunch of reception games So from week 12 to week 17, he had 8, 6, 5, 7, 2, and 2 receptions. So he kind of like PPR merchanted it.
When was this run? I remember being in New York and playing DFS and like listening to podcasts. I was probably like listening to Evan Silva like talk about like what a sick run he was on, and he was just like he just had like these super easy matchups, and he was just like crushing them.
Maybe 2020 he goes 11 for 113 against Houston, 32 for 146 and 2 against Minnesota, 23 for 95 and 1 against Jacksonville, 22, 69 and 1 with 9 receptions against Green Bay.
Maybe that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
That makes me feel old though, because that was so long ago.
That was a long time ago.
It was definitely
Brother,
Chicago.
I've done a million things like this. The Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, Jonathan Taylor year, I took Clyde Edwards-Helaire first overall in the Dynasty League I care the most about.
Yeah. No,
many
CH.
such
I was with you on
cases.
that. CH 101.
Yeah.
First round pick, Chiefs. What could go
Chiefs,
wrong? He's
pass
gonna have to be
catcher.
so bad not to pay this.
He's
off.
gonna have to be so bad.
So
He's
bad.
gonna have to be so bad. No, I learned my lesson on Rasheen Ali. I did kind of like him as a prospect, but they clearly, I think the thing is they clearly want Keaton Mitchell to be part of their rotation.
Yeah, I mean,
They saved a roster spot for. They saved a roster spot for him all year.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. We need 2 more running backs. Probably another quarterback, another tight end. Oh man. Maybe we just.
I don't think we
wait
need
to
the
our-
quarterback.
We can wait to our final pick. No, his profile was bad. His profile was not good on Clyde. It wasn't horrible, but it was not first round pick.
It was, yeah. He was sort of like if I'm trying to think. It would maybe be like if Devin Neal was a first round pick to the Chiefs, where we were like
Something
intrigued
like
by
that.
him. Yeah. Or Dylan Sampson. Maybe he would have been the better example.
Like
Yeah,
kind of
we're like-
interesting. You expect him to be a third round pick, like best case, and then at it, like
Yeah.
the Chiefs took who?
Right.
I'm gonna take Elijah Mitchell here.
good with that.
Then who?
I would be Brashard Smith if we're going rookies.
I mean, why not? Let's just keep slapping. You don't
I like Smith.
you don't win by stopping slapping. Trent Richardson's production profile was unreal.
It was quite good.
It was like, it was not quite Bijan, Zeke, Jeanty level because the receiving wasn't there. But man,
Yeah. I don't have he like predates a bunch of the advanced stuff, so I'm not sure how he looked there, but he was super productive.
the issue with Clyde was that he was really slow and played on a
Remember he was on the Burrow LSU
he was
offense.
he was on like the greatest college team, like the
Right.
greatest college offense of all time. So it was like, how do you
Yeah.
learn any, like it just, and it was literally only 1 year of production.
The other thing is that like I can remember like before the draft, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, he was a guy you would take kind of not like super, super late, but maybe you would take him in the early double-digit rounds of best ball stuff, or you'd be looking at him as like a third round.
He went at the 110 in my the league
Yeah,
I'm
there
in
you
with
go.
like Rebar and Matthew Berry and all those guys. We do our rookie draft before, and Reeves took him at the 110.
You know what actually I'm thinking of, because I think we weren't even playing best ball. I was thinking I did a pre-draft startup.
Yeah.
And I think he must have gone in like the 8th or 9th round of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, he just was not viewed as like a premium running back prospect before he was on the Chiefs. And I think it was really that he was on the Chiefs more so than that he went like the 32nd pick. Is like, which it's still hard to believe it was as bad as it went. Like the Chiefs, one, have been awesome at turning kind of anybody into a fantasy producer at running back. And then two, he's a pass catcher. So you're just like, how is this not going to work?
Many such cases. By the way, Trent Richardson's final year at Alabama. I mean, just like really unbelievable stuff, dude. It was a long time ago. His quarterback, AJ McCarron, who is now retired from playing in the UFL, but he had 1,700 rushing yards and was third on the team in receiving with 338 yards, 29 receptions, and actually second on the team in receiving touchdowns. It was you had to be there. You had to be there.
So he went 950 for 11 touchdowns, and then he caught 51 receptions for 367 yards and a touchdown as a rookie. So he was pretty productive. From scrimmage, 1,300 yards and 12 touchdowns as a rookie. Then he gets traded to the Colts for a first-round pick the following year.
Yep.
Which was crazy at the time.
Remember, Irsay tweeted trade winds blowing, and we all thought it was for like some defensive back.
It's just wild. And then, I mean, he did not have a good yards per carry, at 3.6 yards per carry as a rookie, which ended up being a career high.
Being his high.
Yeah, that's fucking nuts.
Oh
my God.
This is not fair. CEH was getting robbed and defended himself and his friends against a robber. He's not. Do not put it out there that CH is like one of these Georgia guys who are just going out and fucking around. He literally defended himself and his friends from
That's
from
a good
robber.
fan right there. You can literally kill a man, and Davis will defend you.
It's true, dude. He has post-traumatic stress disorder from it. Remember he couldn't.
No, I don't know anything about the situation. I'm just joking.
Remember Liam being like, "You guys fucking drafting this guy with PTSD. He can't even go to training camp."
Well, good shout by Liam.
Yeah, that's the lore you learn
Whoa.
when you get deep enough. Oh, Georgia better take the slander, brother. Every time a Georgia defensive lineman gets in a car, everyone else in the state of Georgia should get off the road. It's preposterous. They had 2 more incidents this last month.
God. You want to get the alert on your phone? Georgia players just got in their car.
Georgia lineman getting in car. Yeah, you get an alert on your phone.
He's headed north on I-95.
Yeah. Okay. What do you want to do here? We have a 2-6-7-2. Kendra Miller, Trey Tucker. Could just take Jalen Milroe, live a little.
No. Let's take a skill player. What else? Scroll down a little on the sidekicks. Let me see.
Gabe Davis, Trey Tucker, Darius
Slayton. It's pretty thin. I would do Slayton maybe. Yeah, I like that.
Slayton is easily Chess Liam's favorite player. Easily.
I should probably take more Slayton. He's going to have a role.
Is there a tight end we can pair? Not really. Guess we're taking Elijah Arroyo.
I'm good with it.
I'm not really, actually. I think Mason Taylor is the better one of those guys.
Yeah, so Taylor is like way more live to be like a starting traditional tight end, but Arroyo is like, if you're going to squint and be like, well, their profiles suck, but what if one of them is really good as a receiver? It would be Arroyo. You know, it's like the reason that he's on the radar is that he moves really well for a guy that size, specifically as a route runner. And people are excited about his ability to add receiving production. I don't see any of that in the numbers, like at all. He's an okay deep producer, so that looks good, but he just wasn't productive. He did tear his ACL, lost a season to that, kind of 2 seasons to that. So you only have like 1 season to go off of this past year, but he wasn't very productive. And he played with Cam Ward, you know, and he still wasn't very productive. So I'm pretty skeptical of Arroyo, but if he hits, it will be as a receiver. Whereas Taylor could hit and end up being like Jeremy Ruckert with more playing time.
Man, that just tells me you have not seen the gauntlet drill. You don't run that gauntlet drill and not know how to catch the ball.
Who was last year's gauntlet guy? What receiver? Wasn't there something? It wasn't a tight end, it was a wide receiver. I feel like last year someone made noise in the gauntlet.
I mean, there's always someone.
Yeah. Troy Franklin did a terrible gauntlet. And it wasn't very good. So maybe it's predictive.
How did skinnier Troy Franklin? How did Ferguson? Tez Ferguson? Skinny guy. Tez Johnson. Yeah.
I'm not even sure the cameras are able to pick him out. He's just
too skinny. He's a two-dimensional line.
Two-dimensional.
Who actually is going to be the Jets tight end?
Yeah, because
it was Keon Coleman for the gauntlet last year, by the way.
Remember who was it? Was it Zach Kuntz who did?
Zach Kuntz,
who's the best RAS of all time? Maybe he'll get a shot finally.
Their current tight end room is Rucker. Oh, it's just going to easily be Stone Smart.
God,
yeah,
we're gonna have to draft Stone Smart or Jeremy Ruckert.
No, they're all gonna play. It's gonna be the Colts tight end room again. It's gonna be all bunch of dudes playing 47%.
They might draft Tyler Warren.
Not gonna lie, man, that would be a buzzkill. that would be.
I'm so terrified he goes to the Colts that I don't think it's a.
You know what? You're right. Yeah.
The second that Warren goes to the Jets, Colston Loveland's stock is just going to crater. It's going to be like what's happening today for Colston Loveland, because now we'll all know he's going to the Colts. There won't be anywhere to draft him because it'll be during day one of the draft. But just know that you've lost about 20% of your Colston Loveland value.
Josh Reynolds at tight end, maybe Jared. I mean, Jared Cook can't be that busy. Yeah. You know what? I would take Mason Taylor to the Jets just because there's absolutely no one blocking him.
I mean, he is kind of Spider-Man meme with Ruckert. Like I don't know that he's, honest to God, I don't know that he's a lock to pass Jeremy Ruckert.
Travis Hunter running wide receiver routes at the pro day. Who could have predicted this? Man, when Roger Goodell says, what do you think Roger Goodell says when Hunter gets picked from the University of Colorado, cornerback, wide receiver?
I think he'll say, I think he'll say wide receiver / cornerback.
And then we're going to be Zapruder filming it, being like, well,
which did he say first?
Well, which did he say first?
Yeah, I think he says both.
You know what?
We'll get both.
I think he just needs to give up the ghost and just say, dude, I want the bag. I want T. Higgins money, man. I'm a wide receiver.
I think he's going to play wide receiver primarily. And that's I've changed my mind on that. I thought it was.
I was going to say I've changed my mind too. All right, final pick. We have a 2-6-8-3. What do you want to do?
I don't want to take the third quarterback. I don't think we need it, and these guys are probably not going to play much this year.
All right, then we probably need a running back.
Okay. What about Jarquez Hunter?
Sure. I mean, I have no strong opinion about him other than that. I need to stop taking LaQuint Allen so he's not the number one name on my exposure sheet anymore.
Hunter's someone I'm trying to work in a little bit more because he made McShay's top 150 at 150. But I was like, I haven't heard anything about this dude. Is he like a UDFA? But his profile is kind of interesting if he's in that like 4th round mix. So trying to get him back because I think he's more like, whereas LaQuint Allen is like just like a pass catcher. Jarquez Hunter is like a little bit more, more of a Giddens-y type of guy where he can kind of do a little bit of everything. So you give, if he ends up in a cool spot in the 4th or even 5th round, I will want to have sprinkled him in at least.
Yeah. All right. Do you want to do one more? Or you got places to be, things to do.
I can do one more.
Okay. I'm gonna do that. You tell me where you are gonna have Travis Hunter ranked if he is selected 2nd overall by the Cleveland Browns and the coaching staff, Stefanski, says Travis Hunter will be a wide receiver. Where are you taking him? Where are you ranking him when Best Ball Mania opens?
What did they do at quarterback?
Kirk Cousins. I got to pee real quick.
Okay. All right. So Kirk Cousins, we've got Kirk Cousins is probably a pretty decent fit for Hunter and not as much for Judy, because Cousins is gonna want to operate an offense where he's kind of, seeing the dude open and not just chucking up balls for Judy downfield, giving him chances and whatnot. So as a full-time wide receiver, I would be taking Travis Hunter, I think, ahead of Tet McMillan. So probably at that 4 or 5 turn. I'd be taking him at the 4 or 5 turn. Davis is still peeing, so this was too quick of a thought process. Let's say he goes to the Giants. He goes to the Giants. Now we're dealing with Russell Wilson's number 2. Then I thought
you'd have more to say. Honestly, I thought you'd be like, well, more than Tet. And the thing that is kind of hard to suss out about Hunter's wide receiver profile is how much of a break in the analytics profile do you want to give him for one, playing in a weird system that can mess up your yards per route run, and then also how much of a break do you want to give him due to the fact that he was also a full-time defensive back? Do you want to give him any break for that?
You have to give him a break.
I think so too.
It's just sort of like being obtuse, to talk Shawshank.
Yeah.
You're being obtuse if you don't give him a break. He didn't study the game plan in a given week. The game plan he studied was the cornerback game plan. And and JJ Zacharyason's talked about how he's he doesn't rate that well in my model. But I talked to JJ and he's like, yeah, I'm still in. We're not, our job is not to be a slave to these analytics. It's to use the analytics to give us a better sense of what's going to happen.
Correct.
And the thing about Hunter, Hunter was absolutely dominant as a short area producer. 61% of his career yak was on short targets, 0 to 10 yards downfield.
Because he's just a crazy athlete, dude.
He's a crazy athlete.
You just all right, go get the ball.
But he gets open. He gets open. Is that to me? I'm like, okay, I'm seeing you be a wide receiver. Now I wish it was a little bit further downfield, but he wasn't a bad intermediate producer. He had 21 yards per game on intermediate targets. He had 31 yards per game on deep targets. It's actually pretty good. But he was just dominant in the short area. But that's I'm like, okay, you look like a guy who's actually getting open. He also played out wide on 71% of his snaps. So he's not a slot, even though he's getting peppered with short targets. And he's, really good after the catch. So it's not he catches it and falls down. There's some juice here. This is one where I would say the fact that Matt Harmon's reception perception, he's one of the best prospects he's ever charted. That matters a lot to me when I look at the context of this dude has some holes in his profile because he was a cornerback. What are his traits? I think we got to go back to the traits a little bit with Hunter because it was such a weird situation. And it's
he's crazy body control, really good hands, just a very fluid, smooth runner.
The ability to play 2 positions at an elite level, right? Or
just,
at least a very high end level.
That shows crazy, honestly, the thing that shows for me is crazy proprioception, which is just something you can't teach. Just the ability to manipulate space and then understand where defender's going to go, maybe even before they get there. That's a big soccer thing. The best soccer players in the world are sometimes like small guys who are not that strong, not that, Leo Messi, like, some of you guys in the chat could beat up Leo Messi, but he just is the, some guys just know ball, and the ball is like inside his brain.
Yeah. I ultimately, I think I'd be higher on Hunter with Cousins on the Browns than I would be with Russell Wilson on the Giants. Now, if it's Jameis on the Giants, I changed my tune, but I think Russell Wilson will get the first crack there. Maybe Jameis is closing the season though. But I mean, honestly, with Hunter, it's just like, tell me he's a full-time wide receiver. 70% of the routes. I don't need 80, 90. Give me 70, 75. And I'll take him in the 4th round.
Yeah. I did take Amon-Ra St. Brown and Ashton Jeanty in the middle of that discussion, because that's what you do there.
I love it.
Isn't that start, dude? That start, Amon-Ra St. Brown and Ashton Jeanty, is just so much better of a start than Bijan JSN or Bijan T or whatever, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, I'm Amon-Ra and Jeanty compared to Bijan T. It's like, I'm not sure that we're going to want Bijan over Jeanty by the end of the year. That's not a lock to me. And I'm pretty sure we want St. Brown over T. So yeah.
100%.
It's a bad year. Remember last year we were like, the second round's all the same. That doesn't feel like that to me. I think the early second round's actually pretty strong this year.
Yeah. I don't think Hunter is undersized relative to how NFL wide receivers are sized now. Like he weighs, I think, 7 more pounds than Garrett Wilson. So he doesn't.
No, I think he's lighter than Garrett Wilson was. He weighs more than Waddle.
Garrett Wilson listed at 192. Travis Hunter 185. Okay, you're right. I mean, 185 is fine.
Let me pull up Garrett Wilson as a prospect though, because maybe you were right about what he used to weigh when he came in. The other thing is that like Hunter played cornerback, where I think you want to be a little skinnier as a corner. Yeah, you need the speed. Wilson was 184 as a prospect, so
yeah,
and that's the comp to me. I just don't think it matters that he's in the 180s for the type of player he is. Yes, he's not Calvin Johnson, but like, who brought up Calvin Johnson? This dude's like a guy who like wins quickly as a route runner, which I mean that's not Calvin Johnson at all. There's different types of receivers. He'd be more of an Antonio Brown, right? If you were going to compare him to like a great.
Yeah. All right, we are up here. A little bit of a fall here for Kerrane. What do you want to do?
Personally, I think we grab maybe Adams and get the receiver. I don't think we need a running back.
Whichever running back comes, but yeah, I think you're right. Look at you capitulating on Devontae Adams after the ship chasing draft when I took him in the first round of the most impactful fantasy moves.
I did. I fully capitulated. Sure, let's go Chase Brown.
Yeah. Chase Brown, Ashton Jeanty is like that's when a left wing slappy takes running backs. Like that is a wide receiver drafters version of the hero running back start. Is you do rookie running back who doesn't have a team yet, who played in the Mountain West, and Chase Brown. That's
Chase Brown, rookie running back and the most expensive backup in best ball.
It's very funny. Like the guy who has 47% of Derrick Henry has like never considered taking Chase Brown.
Never once.
Not only is Chase Brown too left wing slappy, he's also Canadian.
Is he Canadian?
Yes, Chase Brown is Canadian.
Oh no.
So is Io Manor, by the way.
No, I knew that. Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah, I had forgotten the Chase hyper slappy running back. People are calling it hyper
slappy. I think super slappy is the preferred
slappy
term now. Yeah.
Bimodal slap. Chuba is Canadian. That's true. Robust slappy. Yeah, people are
robust slappy. Yeah. No, it's not robust slappy because we're gonna stop slapping.
We're gonna stop slapping pretty soon.
Yeah.
Are there Yeah, it makes sense. He's Canadian. He was too nice to score that touchdown to benefit all my
That's right.
teams. Yeah. Has there ever been a good Canadian NFL quarterback?
Was
Canadian NFL quarterbacks.
there has to was
Doug
Flutie
Flutie
Canadian?
was
Flutie. Yeah, okay.
Doug
Yeah.
Flutie was Canadian.
Okay.
Murphy. It's about as good as it gets. List of active Canadians in the National Football League. You never know. Chase Claypool, Canadian, famously. Wow, did not know this. N'Keal Harry.
No way.
N'Keal Harry was born in Toronto, Canada.
Wow.
So maybe Io Manor being Canadian is not a good thing. Let's see. Is there John Mechie Canadian?
Really?
John Mechie was born in Taiwan.
No way.
And his family moved to Ghana. Then his family moved to Canada. So he has I believe he has a Ghanaian citizenship and Canadian. Oh, I'm really learning some stuff right now.
Is Mechie still in the Texans?
Yes. And the Canadian wide receiver who tore Tank Dell's knee, Jared Wayne, Canadian, born in Ontario. Not looking good, Canada. You're not beating the allegations right now. Yeah, it does sound military probably for Mechie. Okay. We get Kittle. He's probably a good pick here. I hate these wide receivers available at this pick. This pick always sucks.
Yeah.
Wide receiver.
I like Kittle though.
Yeah, I think we do.
And I don't mind Sutton. He does set you up for the next stack if you want to push it.
I do kind of mind Sutton
Jennings
because I'm just like, what am I? Could take Pearsall.
It feels early for me for Pearsall. I know you're into Pearsall.
It is. Yeah. All right, we'll take Sutton. Whatever.
I know it sucks. It's not fun, but like
it's not fun.
They're so thin at wide receiver that even if they add someone, he'll have a role. And
adding someone doesn't do anything. Yeah.
Right. So it's a robust pick. It's a gross pick. It's just not that high upside, but if you need a receiver, it's one of these dudes where you're like, yep, I'm ranking Sutton at wide receiver 18 again. And the guy that I was considering instead is still wide receiver 32.
Right. Right.
That breakout hasn't happened yet.
No, it sure hasn't. Should just take Travis Hunter. Yeah, you're right. I mean, honestly.
Yeah. Hunter.
I mean, we're gonna be taking him there soon enough.
I know. I probably just need to get over the mental hurdle of the cornerback stuff is frightening. He's like literally
you could literally be taking a guy who does not play the position.
It's crazy. It's just such catastrophic downside we're not used to.
The only wide receiver with a BMI over 10 on the Broncos.
Seriously. Although Vele's big. No, Vele's big.
Yeah. The Tank Dell experience, broke his leg, got shot, got healthy, made the playoffs, teammate explodes his knee. What is the duck foot take? What are people asking me about duck feet?
I went on a whole rant yesterday about Harold Fannin because if you listen to anyone who's watched Harold Fannin, they can't get over how weird he looks when he runs because he's duck-footed.
Yes.
So you'll hear this in all the scouting evals and everything. But the duck-footed discount is getting out of control. It's as if no one even cares about what he produced. Now, you also have the Bowling Green discount. So we have to be does this matter at Bowling Green? But the production is so off the charts that it's and he did it against, at least some of it against some decent schools. So it's it just feels like we don't know how to properly account for the duck-footedness and the weirdness of the run. And people have the duck-footed penalty in their mental model set to 800. Like, it's just like everything's cool, but duck-footed, can't even think about drafting him. And I just reject that him being duck-footed means he can't possibly play. He'd probably be better if he wasn't duck-footed, but he might be like really, really good at football. And it's just a guy who's overcoming a weird running style.
Is there anything he can do, like physical therapy wise? Like, can he like I assume that he can have a crazy trainer, like he goes and gets up with some trainer and they change his gait. That's like fairly common. Athletes do that.
Maybe, but I don't even know that he needs to. Like, he's really, really good after the catch, and maybe like being duck-footed helps him stay balanced or something.
Take weird angles.
Take weird angles, hits. Like when you hit him, his foot is tilted out. He's able to, catch his weight a little bit more easily. He bounces off contact,
Who do you want to take here?
Oh, Shakir. Why are you so low on Shakir?
I mean, I think you know why I'm low on Shakir.
Because you draft with Liam?
Because I draft with Liam.
So you just have all the Bills buried in your ranks. So you don't have to talk about them. Knicks makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I gotta do Knicks. No, it's not about talking about him. It's that if Shakir hits, I'm just gonna be tilting it. I'm just gonna be like, oh, there's another good team for Liam.
Another team for Liam.
It's like I'm hitting. I take Kincaid as like a hedge, because if Kincaid smashes, Liam already does well in best ball and posts the ring every time he does a stream. Like, he's Liam. And if the one thing that people use, like the thing that people nag Liam out about the most is Dalton Kincaid. But the fact that he thought Kincaid was going to be good, Kincaid's terrible. If Kincaid hits, what are people going to dunk on Liam about? There's going to be no dunks left. So you got to take some Kincaid as some Liam protection.
Well, I mean, who's he touting this year? There might be some. Is it Josh Palmer? How much Josh Palmer does he have?
He's not deep enough in. He doesn't have strong opinions about. He's honestly, he is kind of just market based drafting to some degree, right? I mean, he's pricing in divisional stuff, so greter chance.
That's deeply disappointing that Liam's not fully in on Josh Palmer. I don't like this new mature Liam.
He did say Josh Palmer is a classic touchdown guy, despite having 7 career touchdowns or something.
Yes, that's what I want. Yes.
Yeah, Liam. He does tout some of the worst late round wide receivers. He's like a big Darius Slayton guy, but I mean, what are you gonna do?
Do you think he's Yeah, no, Darius Slayton is honestly, he's fine. He's a fine pick.
Josh Palmer is definitely this year's Josh Palmer. There's no getting around that.
I think yeah. Actually, I think Palmer's fine. I think he's a fine pick.
Wouldn't I? I'd rather have I think I'd rather have Curtis Samuel.
No, come on. You always want the guy that got signed. If you're getting signed to be a Jag, always pick the new contract Jag.
The new Jag.
Yeah, because the whole thing with a Jag is you need the role. If you're gonna be just a guy, it's helpful to be a guy. You need the playing time. I think Samuel, they're like, you're a Jag. Let's play a bunch of snaps for us, and they're like, we actually don't like this at all. Palmer
is Josh Palmer Canadian? No.
Is he?
Josh Palmer's Canadian.
Dude.
Josh Palmer, born in Brampton, Ontario.
Great to see him get to play back home in Buffalo.
Matt, what is prompting you to ask this question? Is Tyson Bagent dead in Dynasty?
Matt,
I don't know what you're seeking for, but you need to keep searching.
Matt, I could name Todd McShay's top running backs in his 150 off the dome, and I'm worried about you. that was concerning to me. I can imagine what your family must think.
Matt is actually Tyson Bagent's dad that was putting out the rumors to Chicago radio hosts that all of Caleb Williams' teammates wanted Caleb Williams bench for Tyson Bagent.
Oh my god. Maybe Matt might be Tyson Bagent. That would make the most sense.
I get it. Like in Superflex Dynasty, you always want, like, I've got like Mac Jones on every Superflex Dynasty best ball team I have. I get it. But Tyson Bagent is not even that. I think we definitely take Goff here with St. Brown, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, that Khalil Shakir pick. Tough.
I think it's good. I mean, I think he rounds out the room pretty nicely.
All right,
we can take Mims here if you want.
Everyone hates Marvin Mims until they need 21 points in week 16.
Yeah, and then they really hate him.
If the Broncos get through the draft and the only person they add is Tez Johnson, Bo Nix's adopted brother, what are we thinking about Marvin Mims?
Well, he lost the Joker role to Tez, so that's gonna hurt. No, I mean he'll be all right, obviously.
Tez Johnson gets tackled once behind the line of scrimmage. It's over, dude.
Yeah.
He's 20 pounds less than Xavier Worthy.
He's the same size as Tutu though, and Tutu's had a career.
No one ever lays a clean hit on Tutu.
No one has ever used Tutu as a bullish weight
as
comp.
A bullish comp. dude, he's at least as big as Tutu.
Hey,
I mean, come on.
He's the same size as Tutu, man. Come on. Yeah, it's over.
It's over. Do you remember Nashimba Webster?
I remember the name.
This is a dude who what was his listed weight? Oh, I'm thinking of the wrong guy. There was a Rams return guy who was listed at like 147 or something. I don't remember who it was.
What was God, who was the dude who got drafted by the Dolphins and he was a punt returner? Matt Friedman and John Moore had him on the road of his podcast that year when he was coming out.
Oh, I mean, this is deep lore.
This is deep lore. He was God damn it, what was his name? He was like really fun as like, I think his thing was he was like he was short. He was obviously
Can you give me a year reference for this? Jakeem Grant?
Jakeem Grant. Yes.
Yeah. Jakeem Grant was Trendon Holiday. Thank you. Trendon Holiday is the answer to this. Trendon Holiday was listed at a crazy low weight. But yes, Jakeem Grant from Texas Tech. Trendon Holiday listed at 169. But to give you guys, he was also 5'6".
Yeah, so Jakeem Grant was 5'6", 170. So God,
that is Trendon Holiday next to one of the old Broncos quarterback.
Oh my God.
I think that's Osweiler.
Is that Lynch? Is that
number 6? I mean, I have no idea, but very funny stuff. Yes, Trendon Holiday did score a touchdown in the Super Bowl. That's true. That was Osweiler.
I think it might be Lynch. Oh, it was Osweiler? Okay.
Jakeem Grant had a mini year NFL career, 6 years, and he was awesome at Texas Tech. 90 receptions, 1,300 yards, 10 touchdowns with 2 rushing touchdowns his final year.
Yeah.
At Texas Tech. To be fair, Osweiler is 6'7".
Yeah, Osweiler's 6'7".
All right, do you want to triple stack Bo Nix or do you want to take
Yes.
Colston Loveland?
No, I think we stack up Nix.
Anytime you can triple stack.
Look, if you're going to take Knicks where he's going, then
you know
need him
what?
to
Good
be
point.
Awesome.
If you're gonna fall, what do you want? Bigsby?
I think we take Loveland maybe and just
be done. Okay.
Yeah, just be done.
I guess we do have our hyper slappy running back start. I was right in the middle of saying something. Oh yeah, anytime that you can just do the Hayden Winks Bo Nix propaganda. I mean, frankly, the only reason that Bo Nix is still being drafted there is that's where he opened when the contest was there, and people are like, "Well, I don't want to have no Nix."
Yeah,
that's it.
That's right. That's it.
I disagree with this. If Jaden Daniels didn't exist, Bo Nix would be going in the 50s, 60s. No chance.
No, he wouldn't.
No chance. If Hayden would have listed him as the quarterback 14 on the initial rankings, he'd be going right where Herbert's going.
That's exactly right.
It's not as if Bo Nix was like, oh man, he was this crazy good rusher. He scrambled a little bit. He had, where's his total rushing numbers? Guess off the top of your head how many rushing yards Bo Nix had.
400.
Yeah, 430 and 4. Like good. That's like peak Aaron Rodgers rushing. Like when Rodgers was still mobile, it was fine.
And
like I think Trevor Lawrence.
Didn't he scramble less over the course of the season? Didn't he start to scramble a little bit less?
No, he didn't scramble. He didn't scramble at all at the beginning.
At the very beginning, okay. I felt like it tailed off at the end of the year.
Look, I can pull it up. I've got his game logs right here. So Bone. Oh no, I'm wrong. So he had a 10 for 75 against New Orleans, but then he had a bunch of games with 5, 5, 5, 4, 23, 25, 31, 47. He's totally fine.
Yeah, he's fine.
But Bo Nix did not destroy. Bo Nix had 2 games with 300 passing yards. What and you know what buoys up his numbers? The game against the backup Chiefs. Against the backup Chiefs, he went 26 of 29 for 321 and 4 with 7 scrambles for 47 yards. Against the Chiefs.
Who had more points per game last year? Bo Nix or Jared Goff?
Oh, it's got to be Goff, right?
It's Goff.
Yeah.
By 0.3. 19.2 to 18.9. He was right there with Sam Darnold, right there with Brock Purdy, right there with Patrick Mahomes, which, fair enough. Right there with Kyler Murray, not far behind. I don't think it's crazy to have him.
Tyler Shuck has got to be older than Bo Nix.
Oh, definitely.
Bo Nix, February 25th, 2000. Tyler Shuck's older.
He turns 26 in September.
5 months. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tyler Shuck, old man. Yeah. Why take
Shuck.
Bo when you could just take Drake May?
Yeah.
I'm not guys, you're misinterpreting this as Bo Nix is a bad pick. You shouldn't take Bo Nix.
We just took him on this team.
Yeah.
I'm
saying the opposite of that. What I am saying is that Bo Nix is being overdrafted and overrespected.
Yeah. What we're really saying is that in a different world with different starting ADP, Bo Nix would not be going here. That this doesn't necessarily reflect like a perfectly efficient market, but instead kind of an anchoring bias that we're not really fighting because I don't want to fade Nix. But he's not really that different from a lot of the guys going behind him.
Sure. Yeah. Shuck is Gen Z Brandon Whedon.
Dude, I'm going to end up being a Shuck slappy in Dynasty. I took him at the 312
for
in
sure.
a rookie mock.
Yes.
Yesterday.
You'll have no choice.
Good luck getting a starting quarterback in 2026 for the 312. And I think he's a starter next year. He's going to start for someone. He's probably starting for someone by the end of this year.
As he's about to retire. As he's about to start collecting his AARP.
Yeah.
Yes. Justin Herbert's college backup, Tyler Shuck.
That's right. How crazy is that?
Tyler Shuck, let's see. 2018, the 2018 Oregon Ducks Now CJ Verdell, Travis Dye, Tony. Remember Tony Brooks James, Pittsburgh Steeler, who's already
we're
been
on the clock
in.
here.
Oh shit.
I think we might take. What if we took Giddens to get the fun guy, and then we could take whoever's left between Davis and Corum.
Yeah, I mean, that is the hyper slappy way. We could also take Cam Ward and be done at quarterback. We don't have a Titan, though.
No, let's take Davis.
You know what? We're hyper slapping it up. I'm
Oh,
taking RJ
wow.
Harvey. Okay. When people ask, what is slappy? What is that? What does slappy mean? Just send them a photo of this running back room.
Davis,
Ashton
the way
Jeanty.
you said that, it felt like a documentary, like a Spinal Tap style, like documentary that's mockumentary that someone's doing on the best ball community, and like they're gonna be like, "What does slappy mean to you?"
What does slappy mean to you? What slappy means to me is taking a running back room of 3 rookies and Chase Brown. That is. You're just not going to slap it more.
That's you are not going to outslap us. You might beat us in this tournament.
You might beat us.
Not have outslapped us.
You might get more points than us. I'm going to guess. I don't even remember what we have on this team, but I'm going to guess it's not actually great.
I think it's pretty good.
We have Bo Nix triple stacked. We have Jared Goff with St. Brown, Ashton Jeanty, Chase Brown, DJ Giddens, RJ Harvey, St. Brown, Devontae Adams. Oh, we have some adult wide receivers.
Yeah.
Imagine if Khalil Shakir was anybody else. Just imagine.
You hate Khalil Shakir.
I do. I really do. Which is funny because I was bullish. I was bullish on him as a prospect. It's
they extended him. He's locked into that slot role. I think he's a good pick where he goes. He's not like amazing, like, oh my God, like what a steal. But like if you need a wide receiver 4 and Shakir's there, I think it's great. I'm always like, thank God. What a solid wide receiver 4 to get here.
What is going to be his season high in points?
23.
I would frankly be a little surprised if he got 23.
What did he have last year? What was the season high last year?
Can you check it in the app?
I'll check it on FF today. Let's see.
In his career, let me just pull up his whole career game logs. In his career, he's topped 100 yards 4 times. He's never had double-digit touchdowns in a game, and he only has 7 career touchdowns.
All of that seems bad. Last year, his peak was 19.1 fantasy points in underdog scoring.
That sounds about right.
He hit 15.4. He hit 12.9. He hit 16.2. So yeah, not a ton.
We're back up. I mean, if we're going full slappy, do you want to take Richardson? Bond, Wandale,
Anthony
Royals.
Richardson.
Yeah.
Do we need the third quarterback?
Maybe.
I feel like we're okay. I mean, I'm fine with it if you want to.
Bond is the well. Here we can think about it. Bond,
no, let's take Richardson over Bond.
It's too late. My fingers were not nimble enough. Bond was top of the sidekick.
Look at that.
Richardson, Eckler, Gordon, Wandale, Tolbert. What are you thinking?
Honestly, Eckler might help this team. It's a good team to take Eckler on.
Yep. An adult. He will have a role in week 1. Probably not going to have a role in week 17. Is Shakir good? I don't know, man. I have a hard time. He's fine. What I'll tell you is he's very fine. Yeah, he's perfectly cromulent. Did we ruin the slap by taking Austin Eckler? Well, Austin Eckler was a slappy pick like 5 years ago. He was a slap.
Yeah. He's kind of in the Zach Ertz mold now where he's so cheap. I think he's allowed on slappy teams.
Yeah.
He's not a slappy pick. but he's not like anti-slappy.
That's fair. When Eckler used to be the handcuff with Melvin Gordon, there were Justin Jackson people and there were Austin Eckler people, and the Justin Jackson people were the right wing slappies, the Eckler people were the left wing slappies, and one of the few times in history that the left wing slappies got one over.
Come on. I actually think I was a Justin Jackson slappy, so I've actually
probably were. He went to Justin Jackson. He was a 3-year workhorse at
Right.
Northwestern. Austin Eckler was damn, where did he go? Some school that doesn't even have a college football reference page.
Eckler, yeah, I forget.
Western State in Colorado.
Western State sounds so made up.
So made up. It is funny. Yes, it is funny because Justin Jackson basically runs a socialist Twitter account.
Yeah, I don't think Justin Jackson was ever a right wing slappy. I think they were
he was. I just know Evan Silva took to the airwaves in 2017 and was like, "This Austin Eckler guy is too small. You gotta go. No. Justin Jackson."
No, okay. When it was Justin Jackson and Craig Reynolds in the Detroit backfield,
yeah,
who was Evan in on? Because I think it must have been Craig.
I mean, Craig has been in the NFL for a bazillion years.
That's a right wing slappy right there.
He went to, I want to say, Montana State. Let's see if I get this right.
The reason Western State, you have to have a state name in the state school.
He went to a place I literally have never heard of, Kutztown.
Kutztown is a bad place to try to become a professional athlete.
But they do have a guy who generated, who was a first-round pick in 1996, and Andre Reed. Andre Reed, of the Buffalo Bills parish, 87 NFL touchdowns. So, hey, a Montana State Grizzly. Emwald, I have have you ever seen me wearing my Montana State gear on the show? Big Montana State guy, huge. No one's ever been bigger.
Not a big Western State guy because it doesn't.
Not
exist.
A big Western State guy.
Brashard Smith, slap it up.
Restrepo showing up is very funny because I literally thought. I guess now I'm ahead of ADP.
What's the? We gotta scroll.
Kyle Williams. If we want to go, do we want to go
Kyle
Chris
Williams?
Chris Williams slappy.
Chris
Sims slappy.
Yeah, let's take Kyle Williams. I'm trying to mix him in more.
Yes, so you're correct. Montana University is the Grizzlies. Montana State is the Bobcats. So I have, even you want to get a joke inside of a joke, I have Montana State University Billings gear. They are the Yellow Jackets, I believe, because I was born in the town of Billings, which has a Montana State satellite campus, and I have an eBay alert that pings when someone posts new Montana State University Billings gear. Kyle Monungai is probably a fine 20th round pick, right? It's like whatever.
I don't think so. I think post draft, sure, but like, let's make sure he's not a UDFA. Serious UDFA vibes with Kyle Monungai.
You just never know with Rutgers because Rutgers is like the worst program in college football. So it's like remember, like Isaiah Pacheco was teammates with like 3 NFL players, but there was just no way to know that they'd be NFL players.
Right. Monungai is kind of he's different than Pacheco, but I could see him earning a role like Pacheco did because I think he's like a very kind of trustworthy, someone you can kind of lean on in the early downs and gets what's blocked and all of that. I know Connor Rogers really likes Monungai, and he wasn't like crazy productive, but he was like consistently productive over a few years. So it's not like I think Monungai's bad, but he doesn't seem to be popping. And then when you factor in the draft capital, it does look pretty concerning.
This is kind of nowhere. This is kind of here nor there, but Isaiah Pacheco sucked in college.
Yeah.
like straight up, dude. He like got worse every year, was in like a timeshare with Manungai, who's like not an NFL player and was a true freshman at the time. Like, what is the deal? And was teammates with Bo Melton, who is now a Green Bay Packer.
Oh wow.
Do you like
Yeah,
Jaden Blue?
Not really.
Me either.
But I guess I would have a light on more for him because he's I think yesterday, Anthony Amico took him in our rookie mock. It was either him or Daigle because I didn't take him, but I think it was Amico. And he's just like fast, can catch passes. And with Blue, I do think he will be drafted, with some capital, like maybe 4th round. I wouldn't be like shocked if he was a 3rd round pick. I'd be surprised, but it's possible. And then probably early day 3, 4th, 5th. He's like the type of committee back who could actually be like somewhat interesting. Because he's really fast.
He's fast, yeah. Because he's fast.
But
most obvious storyline of all time: Steelers open for business on Pickens. That's why they brought Golden in for a visit. I mean, come on. You trade for Metcalf and Pickens together is just like too much vibes. All right, let's take a wide receiver here. Give me a dart.
All right. I will take some Vele. We got Knicks. Let's do
Christ.
Let's do Vele.
God, this is
second round breakout.
This is so demoralizing.
2nd year breakout.
I don't think I've ever taken Devon Vele before. All right, you want?
I will take Vele and Franklin sometimes and just be like, let me stack it up.
Do you want Kavonte Turpin or Jarquez Hunter or Jordan James or Keaton Mitchell or Raheem Sanders?
What about
Taj
Dart?
Brooks?
Let's take your boy Dart.
All right, Jackson Dart it is. Jackson Dart and Bo Nix are the Spider-Man pointing meme.
Yeah.
Dart is actually it all kind of started as a bit, but I actually do think Jackson Dart is probably good.
I think Dart's a pretty solid pick from a dynasty perspective. I don't know how many starts we get, but as a 20th round pick, quarterback 3, I do think he goes 1st round. Maybe he goes to the Seahawks. Maybe he goes to the Steelers. He could be starting by the end of the year for sure.
The thing is, I guess, is the point is he probably won't be that great for fantasy though. Like if Jalen Milroe somehow finds some starts,
sure. Yeah.
I'm not over because I have not that was like the first time I've taken Jackson Dart in like a month. I had a 40% Dart exposure, and I've moved that far down. Yeah, Kerrane, what does the data say about 28-year-old 2nd-year wide receivers?
It's a small sample.
It is. I did take Brandon Cooks in a draft today, and I was just like, man, maybe 20 rounds is too many.
I do think that getting on the field and earning a role right away as a rookie is bullish, regardless of how old you are.
Sure.
And that although it's not the most exciting thing in the world, he's completely free. When Tim Patrick was a 10th round pick or whatever, that was not so fun. But, I think he could be... They literally chose him over Tim Patrick, right?
Yeah.
They were like, we need a Tim Patrick, and this guy's a better Tim Patrick than Tim Patrick.
And that was before they knew that Tim Patrick was going to get shot.
Did he get shot?
Yeah.
Oh. Well.
Or no, Josh Reynolds did.
Okay, yeah. Because Patrick played for the Lions all year, so
yes. Correct. Sorry.
But that's you're like, can he have that season as a 2nd-year player that got Tim Patrick paid?
Yeah.
That would be the hope. Nothing crazy. What did Tim Patrick do as a 2nd-year player? Let me pull that up.
I think the thing with Tim Patrick is he's never actually played. He's just had a bunch of cascading season-ending injuries. Year 3, Tim Patrick, 51 catches, 742 yards, 6 touchdowns. If you got that out of Vele, you're laughing. You're overwhelmed with joy.
For free.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're pretty psyched about that.
Yeah.
But then he
all right, this
tore his
team
ACL in 2022.
and Achilles, right? Both. Didn't
Jeez. I can't
Bo
remember.
Nix quad stacked. Jared Goff with St. Brown, Dart, Slappy running. Honestly, Eckler is just sticking out like a sore thumb in this running back room. Jeanty, Chase Brown, DJ Giddens, RJ Harvey, Austin Eckler, Brashard Smith. Like Austin Eckler should definitely be Marcus Yarns. We honestly we should have full committed to the bit and just trusted Jeanty and Brown to get us through the first 6 weeks of the season.
No, I like it because it's like, look, go to Brashard Smith, okay?
Yeah.
Just scroll up so we see just Brashard Smith. I don't want to see Eckler yet. And it's like it's like, one of those apps that, on fucking Instagram or what's the other one? The one that deletes your stuff. I don't know. Whatever the apps are. You get
the one
that
deletes your stuff.
The one, I'm blanking, but the one where Snapchat. You get the filters. You have the filter on, and Brashard Smith puts like the old filter on. Like, what am I going to look like when I get old? And he scrolls up and sees Austin Eckler.
It took you a long time to get there, but you did get there. It took you a long time to get to Snapchat, the one where it deletes your stuff. To
that's because I've gotten old. I can't remember the friggin' app.
Austin Eckler is Brashard Smith with the age filter on. That's really good. That's really, really good. St. Brown, Devontae Adams, Cortland Sutton, Khalil Shakir, Marvin Mims, Isaiah Bond, Kyle Williams, Devon Vele. I mean, Mims, Bond, Williams, Vele. Slap city.
Slap, baby.
Kittle, Ingram, Loveland. This is a pretty good team, actually.
I enjoyed this one. This is my favorite of the ones we did.
Yeah, it's a good team. All right, Kerrane, what do you guys have going on over on Legendary Upside right now?
Yeah, if you're interested in checking out the Sidekick, that's available over at Legendary Upside, legendaryupside.com/sidekick. We've got all the rookie stuff rolling out on the site, all my rookie profiles. I do these deep, in-depth profiles with player comps and everything. Working on the part 3 of the running backs, kind of the running back sleepers. Brashard Smith is going to lead that article. I'm pretty excited about him, actually. But working on my wide receiver article as well. That'll be out hopefully next week. And Michael Dubner's got some really cool pieces that are about to hit the site. One of them already has on the quarterbacks, but he's got kind of like closing line value analysis on the running backs is the next one he's going to have coming out. So check that out. I'll be on YouTube later today, streaming a draft as well on the Legendary Upside YouTube channel. And yeah, we've got some podcast episodes up on there, including the one with JJ Zachariason earlier this week that I mentioned.
All right, there we go. Check out Mr. Kerrane's legendaryupside.com. I will be back. I guess we're doing the members only Swolecast in about an hour. So we'll see whatever David's got going on over there. And I guess we're close enough that I can basically just start streaming until I'm done. So I'll probably be live on Monday, and before you know it, it'll be hot best ball summer. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Think about joining as a member of the channel to come hang out in the Discord, get some members only videos and all of that good stuff. And we will see you back on Monday.
It's Short King Summer, dude. It just feels like no one in fantasy sports ever learns anything. Does he mistime it, or is Brock Bowers just a grown man? Brock Bowers is just a grown man. Dare I say, Rich, football might be back. In the words of Lane Johnson, this offense looks